We're looking on a Thursday. I don't know whether to be like ecstatic and 17-2. 17-2. The Brewers beat the hell out of the Rockies. We wake up today, the Brewers are only a half game back. And then, on the other hand, should I be like subdued? Hello, friends. Good morning. They have teed off at Augusta. The azaleas are blooming, all the different colors. Today, if you're watching on the live stream, a little bit of Augusta for you for our background today. Aaron Ray right now on top of the leaderboard, tied with Joakim Niemann, both at 3 under. Chris Kirk, Steven Yeager, Scotty Scheffler, only a couple of shots back at 1 under. Beautiful morning. There you have it. I don't know what to do today. So I don't know whether I should be like up here, wound up, or if I should be Jim Nance in my pants. I don't know. I don't know what to do today. So we're going to have to figure it out together. But I do know one thing that, boy, Brewers are 7-1 since getting off to that terrible start. 7-1. Now, I don't care who you are. That's good stuff. I don't care who you're beating either. Some will say, wow, they're beating bad teams. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. They can beat all the bad teams they want on their way to a division title. I'm good with that. And they're getting it done with people we don't know. You know? So Cubs lose last night. Brewers win last night. Brewers wake up today. If you're a Brewers fan, you're like, wow, we got off to that craptastic start. And we're only a half game back. Smoke them if you got them at this point, right? Hell yeah, you take it. So there you go. I'm excited. I don't know whether I should subdue my excitement for the Masters or I should just keep it rolling. Nothing new on the Packers front today. I do have some. I got a question regarding. Shouldn't say concern maybe, but I got a little bit of a question regarding some of the comments by Giannis, who basically is stating, yeah, with Dame gone, I get the ball more and I'm comfortable that way. Like he's got to have flashes of the basketball and he's worried about the basketball. And I'm like, look, they brought Dame in to be your Robin to your Batman. And now you want to be his Batman with no Robin. I don't know if he's going in that direction. I don't know if he meant it that way or not. But he's talking about, handling the basketball all the time. And, while I will give him credit, he's averaging a triple-double and he has cut down on his turnovers. So Giannis is playing spectacular basketball right now. You're just using everybody else, including Bobby Portis and his return, as kind of the support staff. And they've won some games. But I'm kind of like, so are you saying you don't want Dame back? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But you got all of that going on as well. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to everybody. I don't know where you're at, but it's been a wicked day here in this area. I know for many of you that travel around, I every now and then I'll get a text message or an email. I got friends that listen to the program, and I got a buddy of mine that said, "Hey, stuck in traffic. I'll be here about an hour, so I'll enjoy the show today, listening on the app." I said, "Okay, where you at?" They had a couple of big accidents on the highway in this area today, so the highways have been shut down and the fog in the area has been kind of dense and tough. So if you're out cruising around today, man, that's take care, because I know the fog. Most of the fog I think by now is lifted. If not, at least it's lightened up to the point where it's a little more visibility. But I know over in the Madison area it was a little bit brutal this morning. Over in the western portion of the state of Wisconsin, it was pretty thick too. But it was more so towards the southern portion of the state. So we'll see how. Hopefully, put it this way. Hopefully everybody's safe. Drive with the low beams on and see and be seen. That's the best thing best advice I can give you. You want to join us? You can. You can give us a call, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can text us, 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670 if you want to find us. That'd be great. And you can also track us down via YouTube, which is another terrific way to watch, pay attention to, subscribe to the program, because it's absolutely free. free on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. And you can find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Kate Gunderson in today, at Kate F. Gunderson. You can find her over there, so you can track her down, at Kate F. Gunderson. You can also track us in many other facets as well. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the Bill Michaels Show. The Bill Michaels Show in that particular facet. You can also find us on the Twitch app, on the Kick app, on the LinkedIn app as well. Wisconsin Sports on the Go. You're the man. Apparently he's working out in the snow up there in Spencer today. So good morning to everybody. Good morning to Dan and everybody as well. I got news, speaking of that, Dan. Dan, I know where you live. I got news coming up here momentarily. Also, I said Twitch, Kick, LinkedIn. You can find us on the email. Drop us a line. TheBillMichaels@gmail.com. The website, thebillmichaels.com. The app, WOZN. The Zone Madison. The Zone Madison, our mighty flagship out of Madison, Wisconsin. Spotify, Apple to iTunes, Google Podcasts after the fact. And then coming up this Saturday, our time changes a little bit. 5 o'clock Central Time this Saturday, we're going to be on in Milwaukee on My 24 TV. You can find Wisconsin Sports Weekly with Bill Michaels right then and there. Kate, how you doing today? What's happening?
Hey, I've actually been at work since 5:15 this morning.
Doing what?
So there's this big event for a lot of our stations here, raising money for dogs and cats. And so we had to set up, it was a remote show. It was freezing, Bill.
Where was that?
Absolutely freezing.
Who did it?
Barks at Bourbon. Barks at Bourbon. It's in Cross Plains, Wisconsin. You can go drop off any of your cat stuff or dog stuff that you no longer use.
Oh, okay.
And it's Q106, it's The Resistance, it's 94 JJO, and Magic 98. So we set up all of those remotes. We got them all going for their morning show. It's been a long day already, but I'm excited to be in the studio.
Does that go all day today?
It goes all day until 7 p.m.
I'll have to make a donation. I'll have to get a link from you. Maybe we do that.
Absolutely.
Maybe we support him. Yeah, wouldn't mind doing
absolutely. It has been a really great event. I just talked to somebody. It was very sad, but his dog had just passed away a week ago, and he was giving all of his supplies and things that he had. He said, I'm going to start over with my new puppy. And I said, this is such a great way to do it. So I had a nice chat with him, which is fantastic earlier. But yeah, we've just been hanging out in the weather. You were talking about how it was awful. I agree.
Yeah.
But yes, I only have a sweatshirt on now. My coat, I have my hand warmers still in my hand. But we're warm enough and I'm happy to be here.
Hey, here's a question for you. Have you heard from Grant?
I heard from Grant about 2 days ago. Why?
Because I texted him yesterday, and maybe he's listening. I don't know. I hope he is, or at least knows we're talking about him. So I texted him, and I said, hey, are you, because I think he's going to be in lacrosse tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So the text yesterday, where I got to find it here real quick. So I texted him. I said, hey, by any chance, are you home? And he texted me, he said, so he must have been on the plane. He said, we're landing in Chicago in the next hour. Yes, I'm going to get the guides from you and pass it along to Ebo as well. Sorry I didn't get back to you. I was off the grid on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm like, that's okay. I said, no worries. Just wanted to see. He said, I hope things haven't been too difficult, blah, blah, blah. And Grant's always worried about work. God love him.
Oh, I know.
So he's always worried about work. I'm like, look, all is good. No worries. Just let me know when you get home. I haven't heard from you since.
I hope I saw him on Twitter. He was posting about how he was going to be in lacrosse.
Okay.
So he has to be.
Because I thought for sure he'd say, hey, I'm home, because I was going to drive over to his house and drop the guides off to him just in case.
And I want those guys.
Right. So I thought, well, I can't make it out there anymore this week. So because tonight I'm going to see Jim Gaffigan, and then tomorrow I've got some meetings. So
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
Yeah, his wife is from Wisconsin. He started out doing a couple of shows, and then it kept building and building and building. I think he's doing 6 or 7 shows here in Milwaukee.
Oh my God!
And he started last night, his first one, and all of them I think are all sold out. But our buddy Joe Martino, who is from Point Brewing, who's the owner of Point Brewing sponsors the theaters downtown, and so for Christmas. Because Kristen is a massive Jim Gaffigan fan. I mean, massive. Have you ever seen the skit that he does when he talks about, looking at himself in a mirror at the gym while reading Myself magazine, while working on myself, doing myself, and all that kind of stuff? And he goes,
no, I haven't. But I just know my dad loves his books. My dad is a huge fan.
She shouts that out in the gym. Like she'll
No,
be
she
walking,
doesn't.
yeah, and then she sees a mirror and she's like, myself, and just it's so anyway. So that's what I got her for Christmas was I got really, really good seats, and I bought us tickets to go see Jim Gaffigan tonight.
I can't wait. You're going to have to take some photos.
So yeah, if they let us bring cameras in. Or
True. They normally never do that.
Because normally they make you put them in baggies at the door. So I always wear something with pockets and put them in like the back of my pants or something. So they can't see my phone. They can't see my hands because they won't pat you down. They'll just ask for your phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's what I'm doing. So I can't make it out there tonight. My point being, so I thought, well, I'll run those things over to his house. And then I thought, well, maybe he just got home and he was tired. Maybe he's going to get up. And if he doesn't have to be to lacrosse until later today, I thought, well, maybe he'll just swing by the house. But I haven't heard from him. So
no, the last time I heard from him was on Tuesday. But 2 hours ago, he posted on Twitter, see you all at Stony Creek tonight, lacrosse.
Okay. Well,
so he's obviously excited for that.
He looks like Keegan Bradley. And Keegan Bradley's getting set to tee off at the Masters. So I'm thinking maybe that's Grant. And he's going to go do his round at the Masters, fly jet in on the Gulfstream, head over to lacrosse, do his thing, hang with the Packers, jet back, and finish up the Masters. And then he'll be back with us on Monday. I'm guessing that's what's happening.
That's why he couldn't work this week.
That's it. He's been practicing all week. He's
Iceland, whatever. Yeah. Iceland, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So Brewers pound out. Man, it was a massive night last night for the Brewers. Holy mackerel. 17 runs. You've got Wilson Contreras again goes yard. Bryce Terang keeps up now the 12-game hit streak. It's like everybody got into the action last night. It's been fun to watch. Jackson Churio homered, doubled, drove in 5 runs again last night. That guy is on. Boy, I tell you what, you talk about a guy that got pissed off of the world after starting 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. Since then, he's been a mauler. I mean, if he even gets a couple of hits in those 0 for 5s, his batting average is over 400. It's crazy. Bryce Terang, a couple of singles for the Brewers last night, and he's, like I said, he continued to hit in all 12 games. And the franchise record to open the season is 13 games by Dickie Thon back in 1993. So Bryce Terang just needs a hit today. They play at 210 today. I love it how the Brewers have been so cognizant of this show that they have said, we will not dare throw out a first pitch until the Bill Michaels show is finished. So it's been fantastic. So, but yeah, William Contreras, I think I said Wilson before. William Contreras, 2-run dinger as a part of that 5-run third inning, broke open the game. Then Churio smashed a 3-run shot in the 5th. And that was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. But we get Priester.
I'm so excited for this.
Priester today. Quinn Priester on the hill today, making his Milwaukee debut.
And he hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet this year either. So hoping for good things from him. But
yeah, I mean, he hasn't had time in that pitching lab down in Arizona for the Brewers to really break him in. So
the Brewers are just, it's like it's blind out there.
Right. They just need something. The good news is you got guys that are starting to throw some rehab assignments and they're doing rather well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, now you've got guys that are starting to throw the baseball and pitching a couple innings here, a couple innings there. And next thing you know, you're going to start seeing these guys trickle in the next couple of weeks. So at least you can hear a little bit of the cavalry, coming from, over the hill. They're not quite here yet, but at least the cavalry is over the hill and hopefully getting here sooner rather than later. So.
And if we're playing this well without pitching, I can only imagine what we can do.
That's just it,
5 or 6.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like, man, you can't wait till the pitchers get here. But right now you don't need them. You've only had a couple of games that have been bombs. That's it. I mean, it's not like you've been shelled consistently. And ever since you got out of New York, things have been actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I just, I want to see the pitchers come back and just stabilize things. It'll bolster the bullpen, all that. But I'm thinking to myself, just keep hitting the baseball. If you can get Oliver Dunn, if you can get Christian Yelich off the schneid, and even Ortiz to start hitting the baseball, holy mackerel. This team becomes a drastically different team if they can do that. I mean, then it doesn't matter what kind of pitching you got if you're going to put up 15 to 17 runs a game. So I'm just, if you can get those guys to start hitting the baseball, man, it changes the complexity of this team. And then even when the new guys come back, they don't have to worry about keeping it, 4 runs or less. They can give up 4 or 5, maybe 6, and still be winning ball games because the way this team, last night, again, they put pressure on that infield. The infield commits a couple of errors. So, and the Rockies, which was really cool. They held some moments of silence last night for the Major League pitcher Octavio Dotel and the former player Tony Blanco. Both were among the dead after that roof collapse in that nightclub in the Dominican Republic. And they also held the moment for Bob Uecker. And so a lot of cool things that they did. Yeah, that were out there. But yeah, it was great. And how about Tyler Alexander last night? He throws one. You get Brenton Doyle, that liner right back. He's like, he just throws it out there. Snag.
Right at him. And then he walked off with the swag like he absolutely meant to do. I'm like, you were trying not to get hit there, buddy.
He just wanted to look over there and go, you all out, bitches. And that was it. So that was fun. Yeah, that was a cool mic drop moment. So good stuff last night as the Brewers get themselves a win. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Keith says, where can I get a Chad Patrick jersey? That's fantastic. Go get a Patrick jersey.
He's so quintessential Wisconsin.
I would get a ... on my number and then just put next reliever where the name is. That's what I would do. That's the kind of jersey I would get, the way things are going right now for the Brewers, but they're winning baseball. They're winning baseball. It's fantastic. Good stuff. All right, off to a fast start today. Stay tuned. Oh, I've got news. When we come in, I'm going to wag my finger. I'm going to say, I told you so. I told you so. I got news when we come back. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. The Bill Michaels Show. Good to have you on board today. As always, today is a fast food kind of day. Not in the sense of bad fast food, but good fast food. Today is a Cousin Subs, and that's exactly what I'm doing after I get up the air. I got to run, grab something to munch. I'm going to get a haircut, and then I got to get back, and then we got to change clothes and then get downtown as the Jim Gaffigan gig is later this evening. I got a meeting today at 4 o'clock that I have to hit too. So it's like crunch time afterwards. We're doing an event for the Veterans Chamber. I'm going there to speak today and do a few things and tell people a little bit more about the Big Unit Foundation. But that means it's a Cousin Subs kind of day. So I'm getting a quick half, pepperoni melt, extra mayo, extra cheese, getting maybe a Sprite or something like that, and then off we go. But I'm already salivating over it today. Cousin Subs believe in better. They're big supporters of the motorcycle ride, big supporters of our foundation as well. But better yet, they are the hometown sub shop. That Cousin Subs right here in Wisconsin, established back in 1972, where they believe in better. So Cousin Subs, kudos to you, and thanks for being on board. We certainly appreciate it. All right, now, announcement time. I told you this was coming. I've been telling you for a while, and it happened yesterday. I got the notice. They said, please, you got to quit. You got to stop. So it is now sold out. The third annual Bill Michaels Open, more than a month away. It'll be 4 weeks coming up on Saturday. We are now not only sold out, but we are oversold. We wanted to sell 34 foursomes for this thing, and so many people when I was on the air yesterday, I said, hey, it's going to sell out, and you got to do it, and today's probably going to be it. Today was it, and they finally called me and said, Bill, and then what was funny was, apparently they're like, oh, crap, I don't think we left a foursome for Bill. So we're like oversold for this thing now. So thanks to everybody that participates. Thanks to everybody that has fun with us. Thanks to everybody that believes in us and puts their money where their mouth is. And it's fantastic. But the third annual Bill Michaels Open coming up, Viroqua Hills Golf Course, Saturday, May 10th, is now sold out. And if you didn't get your spot, better luck next year. That's all I got to say. We are now officially sold out. There you go.
I know. I was thinking about it, Bill.
Yep. We are now sold out. Kate, you can drive the beverage cart.
Maybe next year.
Hang out. Drive the beverage cart. So, yeah, we are now officially sold out. So it is myself, Kristen, Nikki. I don't know who else is with us. I don't know if we've got a fourth or if it's just us three. But that is my foursome. Well, Ernie doesn't play. Ernie drives around with us, but Ernie doesn't play. Mm-hmm. But I don't know who our fourth is. So maybe
if you're really looking,
you play golf?
I do. I actually play a lot of golf. My family has a membership to the golf course in our city.
Oh, that's right. You have like a family golf outing and everything too?
We do. We have a huge family golf outing every July. So I play like starting in whenever the course is open, I go like once a week, and then it turns into twice a week. And then, golf, it's addicting. So you're going 3-4 times a week. And then sometimes you play really good and you think, I've done it.
Right.
I'm finally there. You go the next day and you get 4 triple bogeys in a row and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to head out now. So anyways, yes, I do play golf. And I was thinking about it when you're talking, but if you do need somebody, I would love to play.
Well, I'm literally, while you're sitting here talking, I texted Ernie, and I said, "Hey, do we need a fourth in our foursome?" Mm-hmm. Because you could do that. You could either drive up the night before, or you could come up because Grant usually was with us last year, but he's doing a gig in Viroqua the week before, so they would have the extra room still available. Okay, so there you go. You would see the massiveness that is beautiful Viroqua. And then on top of that, you would be able to hang with us at Twisted Hickory and then go down to Norwegian Hollow, a place in which you think you're being taken in the woods to be killed because there's nothing down there. I mean, you don't even have cell signal. It's gone. Once you get downhill, it's gone. So, and I believe, as far as I know, we're taking the cruiser. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
that is going to be a great event.
Be a banner day. Be a banner couple of days. And but I got friends coming in from all over the state of Wisconsin. I got there's some people that listen to us on WDUZ up in Green Bay that are coming over, and a couple of people that watch us on My 24 in Milwaukee that are coming. And I've got friends coming down from Wausau that are going to be there. So people coming in from all over the state for the tournament, apparently. So, and it's always a good time. So we'll see what happens. So when he texts me back, I'll let you know, because if we need a fourth.
Please.
So I'll let you know what happens. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Our buddy Steve says, what a glorious day. The Crew with a touchdown in the ninth. The Masters in full. I'm going to read it like Jim Nantz. In full swing. 2 weeks away from the most wonderful time of the year, my friends. The 2025 NFL Draft. We mentioned yesterday that Yelly and Contreras, they're warming up as the Crew is now on fire. Before the road trip, I was hoping for a 5-1 or maybe a 4-2 road trip. They're on pace for that. Let's hope they keep it rolling this afternoon. For every major, my buddy and I bet an adult beverage and pick draft golfers with low 3 scores and counting. So far, so good. I picked Yoquan Neiman, who's off to a good start today. Yes, he is. I also agree that Churio, white hot. Hindsight tells us that the Brewers organization was absolutely brilliant to sign him to that big contract so early. And if Jesus continues to grow, I can see him maybe doing the same thing down the road. I thought he was going into a prayer there for a minute with Jesus. I'm still waiting on the R-Lads guides to arrive. I think today is the day, though. And as you know, I'm one of the biggest NFL geeks there is and always have been. I always thought how cool it would be to sit in the Packer war room during the draft, although that will never happen. But that would be the ultimate bucket list item. Have a great day, Stephen Richfield. That doesn't choke you up. I don't know what will. There you have it. That's our buddy Stephen Richfield shooting us an email. Steve, you the man. Appreciate it. Okay. Kate, you're in. Just so you know, Kate is in. Kate's plane was, yeah.
Bill, I'm sorry. I'm in. Is that what you said?
Yep. I just got a text. You're in. They're going to figure out your hotel room.
Oh, this is great news, Bill. I'm so excited.
Yep. There you go.
Okay, great.
Unless we just let you sleep in the RV.
Yeah, hey, either way, we'll figure it out no matter what, right?
Yep, we'll get
It'll be a great day of golf.
We'll get it. So there you go. Good stuff.
Awesome.
You're in.
Awesome.
You are fourth. So it's me, you, Kristen, and Nikki. And Nikki's a good golfer. She's
good.
Gonna carry us. So.
I can definitely. Is it a scramble?
Yes.
Okay, I can contribute once a hole at least.
Okay. Well, there you go.
My irons are not very good, but I'll have to work on them. Sounds like lots of fun.
We just go swing it. You know, we don't care. I mean, last year we quit after 3 holes when it started to rain. You know, it was like, okay, we're going to go eat. We're going to go wait. The whole thing. So it was no big deal.
All right. Sounds like a great time.
Sounds like it's you're taking the place of Grant. Dwayne, our buddy Dwayne from Dwayne's Cover It All, who's actually, he's got a foursome with our buddy Justin. They're going to be there. And he just said, welcome, Kate, over on the live stream.
Dwayne,
so
thank you.
There you go.
Can't wait to meet you.
We're all going to be hanging out. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. Gotta say thanks to our friends at Marquardt RV. Oh my goodness, is the cruiser fantastic? Fantastic. And a lot of reaction already coming in from people that have had a chance to see it, whether it's online or in person. But Marquardt RV with 7 locations all throughout the great state of Wisconsin. 8 of them. They got the one in Columbus now. So Marquardt RV, go to marquardtrv.com if you want to be like us. We got ours from King Campers, which is up in Wausau, Wisconsin, and the Thor Motor Coach, which is stunning. Or you can go with Tiffin, which is beautiful. Winnebago. There's Gulfstream, Cruiser, Jayco, Forest River. Forest Rivers are really, really awesome too. I had a Tsunami by Forest River years ago, a 44-footer. Holy mackerel, was that thing beautiful. So they've got all kinds of stuff. But the biggest thing they pride themselves on is their service and the accessories and their showrooms and such. Go to Marquardt, MARKQUART, marquardtrv.com. That is marquardtrv.com. Big supporters of our military members, our veterans, the first responders and their families as well. So keep that in mind. If you are out there and you qualify as one of those groups, keep them in mind when you start to make your purchase. They help us help you.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Roby? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Sometimes I get a good feeling.
Yeah, we do. How we looking?
Yeah.
Bill Michaels Show. Back at it. Hopefully you are enjoying your day. You will remain safe because apparently the roadway's been kind of treacherous depending on where you were at. I know in the Milwaukee area they had some accidents. I know that heading out 94 they had some accidents. 41 north they had a few. So today just seemed to be a wild and wacky day on the highway. So be safe. I don't know if it was because of fog or just what, but nevertheless, be safe. And the weather from today on is going to start improving. So that's the best part about it because by Sunday and Monday, it's going to be in the 60s. So a banner day, and I am going to be out on the motorcycle. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Cody from Cochrane says, hey, Bill, if you'd have told me that Chad Patrick and Tyler Anderson would have given us 4 quality starts, I would have said, you're nuts. What are you on? What are you smoking? But hey, I'll take it, and I hope they keep rolling. Go Crew. Have a great show. Listening at work, Cody from Cochrane. Cody from where is Cochrane? That I don't know. I don't know. Is that Cochrane?
I couldn't tell you.
Cochrane. I got to look it up now.
The village of Cochrane in Buffalo, Wisconsin. That's what it looks like.
That is far. Cochrane, Wisconsin is about as far to the western portion of the state as you can go.
It's not about. That is as far to the west as you can get.
That's as far over as you can get. So
there's a beautiful picture of people riding in the, I don't know if you look it up on Google, people riding in what looks to be Door County. Yeah. But I guess it's Cochrane.
Just south of Alma, just north of Fountain City, and also just south of Nelson. So there you go. Okay. I had no idea. That's the first for me. So
thanks for listening.
I love learning stuff. That's good stuff. Anyway, hopefully whatever you're doing at work today is fantastic and you enjoy the program. But I completely agree with you. Holy mackerel. I mean, if you would have told me that this would have been your starting rotation, 2 names that we just had no clue over at all. It's like, wow, this had been a disaster, I think, going back to spring training. If we would have said, hey, you've been Freddie Peralta, Patrick Anderson, we'd be going, and that's it. Oh, by the way, and a guy named Priester. We'd say, what? I'd have been like in the movie Major League where you got the guy sitting at the bar and the guy says, who are these freaking guys? You know, that guy? I never heard of him. And then you'd be the groundskeeper going, this team's going to be, Essie, that type of thing. It would have been a bad day at sea, sir. But, man, they have at least given them enough quality starts to say, hey, we're getting the job done. The rest of the major leagues don't have a book on them yet completely, so they haven't been able to figure them out. All you need is a couple more quality starts out of these guys, and life hopefully will be good for the Brewers by the time the cavalry starts riding back over the hill. So I'm excited about it, but I agree with you. If you would have told me these are the guys that are going to be leading us, I don't think it would be happening. By the way, thank you, Stan. Stan says that is a spectacular background on the live stream today. I can't move it over more to show you the whole. That's the problem, because otherwise you start to lose the screen. But yes, you are looking live. That is part of the Masters. It's a picture, by the way. It's not live, so I shouldn't say that. But That's what it is. This one's from Jack. Jack says two things. Why are you concerned about Giannis's comments? I think the fact that he is inspired and playing good basketball should tell us all that they have the ability to make a run in the postseason, something that you were poo-pooing earlier. The fact that Dame is down and they're still winning basketball games should say something about the wherewithal of this team. Okay, I'm not poo-pooing it. Not the way you think I am, okay? But you got to be honest with me, right? Come on. Do you think this team, the way it's they beat, let's go through this. They beat the Suns, not a juggernaut. They beat the 76ers, certainly not a juggernaut. They beat the Heat, no Jimmy Butler, not a juggernaut. They beat the Pelicans. The Timberwolves, that was impressive. That was a good comeback. Now they got the Pelicans again. Coming up tonight, Fiserv Forum. Downtown will be a buzz, but not a juggernaut. Okay, and I'm not knocking it because you got to win the games that are in front of you. That's all you can do. It's not like you can go out and play, a hot team every night. So I get that. But if you think they're all of a sudden going to, because Indiana's not losing. Indiana's won, I think, 5 straight as well. It's different when you get to the postseason. If you think you're going to knock off the Knicks, you could probably go to Indiana and maybe get a win in the series. And I know Giannis is, calling on the fans now and saying, hey, we really need you to come out and give us energy and, get crazy and loud down at the Fiserv Forum. And I completely agree with that. Enjoy the ride. That's what you do. But the optimism of getting out of the Eastern Conference Finals, which they have not been able to get out of the first round since they won it, I think you're fooling yourself a little bit. You're setting yourself up for some failure. I don't think they have enough in the tank. And it's not that I think that Giannis is bad, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a little odd that his comments, instead of saying, man, we really miss Dame, we would love to get his shot back, we would love to do this, we would love to do that, this is the versatility that he adds. It's almost like he's saying, yeah, I like handling the basketball and I don't have to share it with anybody. That's kind of what it is. And so on one hand, it can be him kind of publicly saying, hey, look, if this is all we have to go with and yet Dame can't come back, I like this. We can roll like this. That's a level of confidence. And he could be saying that. He could be, pontificating a little bit about how trying to bolster the troops, so to speak, by saying, hey, we're good. We got this, and trying to give everybody confidence. Okay, kudos. But on the other hand, I don't want this to be a salvo over the bow if Dame's sitting there with the, thrombosis in his leg saying, is this guy saying they don't even want me here? They don't need me? So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, we'll wait and see, but it's one of those statements where you can take it in two different facets. And to me, I've always been one to say, Giannis, quit handling the basketball all the time. You're not a point guard. You're a forward big, and that's putting it mildly. You really, in any other venture, you'd be a center. But you're a forward big because you got Brook Lopez and you got a true rim protector. And Brook Lopez takes a lot of pride in blocking shots and protecting the rim. So you're a forward big, and you're a 4, and you're not a point guard. You're not a 3-point shooter with any level of decent consistency, and you shouldn't be taking shots in clutch moments unless you're powering it to the hoop, because you're not great at free throws. You're consistently inconsistent. So the whole thing about wanting the basketball, I get it. Every great player does. He's got a lot of Michael Jordan in him, but he's not Jordan from the outside hitting a 3 as time winds down. He's the guy that you want powering to the hoop when you're down 1 and dragging 4 guys along with him that are all hanging onto his jersey and his shorts as he goes up and stuffs one through, breaks a backboard, and wins a game. That's what you want. So that's the only reason I brought it up. I'm not bringing it up to say I think Giannis is selfish or a bad player. I just think there are times where Giannis wants the ball, and sometimes it's not in the best interest of this team. That might be the best way to put it. And that's where coaching comes in. That's where Doc comes in. And that's the reason I don't think Doc's a great coach. I don't think he's got the capability to wrangle him.
I don't think anybody does. So you live with the double-edged sword. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Keith said fans gave Bobby Portis a great, oh my God, when he came back, they got a great ovation. Great ovation. Absolutely. Big time. Good to see Bobby come back. He's become, I said this yesterday, if it wasn't for Giannis, Bobby would be the fan favorite. He'd be the face of the franchise. People just love this guy. They just love him. They love Giannis. Giannis is king, and Giannis is cool because of the diapers and driving through Chick-fil-A and, all of that kind of stuff. He's kind of developed into one of us with an accent, because you could look at Giannis and go, I think you're a basketball player. And then he'll speak and you'll go, yeah, you're not from Cudahy. I get it. You're not from Cudahy. You're somewhere else. Right. And, then you understand what the accent is. Because if he didn't play basketball, you just see him walking down the street, you'd be just thinking, what a cool dude just to walk up to and talk to. He is. He's a cool dude. But there are times where it's like, rein him in. Marshall says there's no way Dames takes Giannis's comments as they don't want him or need him. I think the team just understands what needs to be done now without Dame. Sucks that it took losing Dame to light that fire, though. Marshall, I agree. 877-867-1670. Hit us up, 877-867-1670. If by chance you're heading downtown tonight with a lot going on, Jim Gaffigan on one end, down at the Riverside. You've got the Bucks playing tonight, Pelicans, Fiserv Forum. If you're heading downtown, Calderon Club, man, it's right in the middle. You can walk to either place. Park over there by Calderon Club, walk up the street, go to the theater. After you stuff yourself with spaghetti and meatballs, pizza at San Giorgio's, whatever it happens to be. Or head over to the ball game. Walk a couple of blocks over to the Fiserv. You're good to go. Either way, can't go wrong. Best Italian food you stick in your grill. Sit right there in the corner. Watch the crowd go by. Wave to everybody. Take a big bite of the meatball and just make them drool all over themselves. Maybe you're getting some of the bruschetta for the appetizer or that eggplant. Oh, my God, that stuff is so good. Doesn't matter, though. Fantastic. Great stuff. Calderon Club on one side, San Giorgio Pizzeria and Napolitana on the other, 838 Old World 3rd Street, right across the street from the Hyatt Hotel. Head down early. Get there. Because I think they open at 4. About 4:30, walk in the door, sit down, enjoy yourself. About an hour and a half, and then you say, you know what? I can take a nice leisurely stroll, head to either place. Doors are going to be opening up about 6. Get over there, gates open, hand your ticket, sit down. You got to unbuckle your pants because you ate a little bit too much, but you get your beverage in your hand and you get ready to cheer. You get ready to laugh. That's a banner evening. I don't care who you are. That's Calderon Club on one side, San Giorgio on the other.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes.
Welcome back, Bill Michaels Show. How we looking? Good day today. And excited for today, as a matter of fact, in a lot of different facets. Obviously, the Masters is on, which is really, really cool. So every time we say the Masters, it pops up. So we got the Masters on today. You got Brewers baseball, an afternoon game today. Then tonight you got Brewers baseball. I got Jim Gaffigan tickets heading down there tonight. A lot of good stuff. Hey, I was talking earlier about places to go and watch the game, but you got Calderon Club downtown. But if you're just going to hang out tonight, I know it's the day before a fish fry, but tomorrow night, fish fry night, Stoley's Hog Alley. Great burgers, pizza, but fish fry tomorrow night. And I already saw them doing some stuff on Facebook and on Instagram where they're posting pictures of the fish fry stuff. They start to get up I don't want to say the ingredients, but the makings for tomorrow night's fish fry. God, I got to get over there. Always so good. That salted rye bread, man. You just take it home in your pants pockets. It's great stuff. Check out Stoley's Hog Alley in Lake Country. Stoll's 0109 right there in Watertown on County Road R. Either place, you can't go wrong. That is our friends at Stoley's. Great atmosphere, great people. Jeff and Alicia, good stuff. So this one's from Stan. Stan says, hey, guys, if you would have told me that the Brewers would have started off 0-4 and then had a bunch of no-names throwing on the hill, I would have said you are crazy. But the fact that our bench coach is doing a great job, even when Murphy seems to lose his mind. Oh, you're talking about Ricky Weeks the other day getting on the home plate umpire, so Murph didn't get booed. Okay, I got it. Yeah, they worked in tandem. It's been great. Do you think Ricky Weeks has got the makings to be a manager somewhere else? We hope we don't lose him. A homegrown talent staying in Milwaukee would be nice. That's a great question. In that series against Kansas City, you're right. He went nuts. Now, the pitch he argued was a ball, okay? But they were not getting the questionable calls. And Murph was getting pissed. So Ricky took it upon himself to go get hammered. He got tossed. And they did work well together because then it's Murph pulling him back. Hold me back. So Murph's pulling him back. So Ricky got tossed, so Murph didn't. That's a great question. I wonder if somewhere down the road, Ricky Weeks doesn't get a managerial opportunity. We'll see how this season comes. You got to figure at some point, right? Somebody's going to come along and go, you've been a part of this for 2 years. And let's just say the Brewers win the division again, and they win it 90 wins, 91 wins, 92 wins, whatever. And they beat the Cubs again. Do you think people are going to look at the Brewers and look at Craig Counsell and say, yeah, it wasn't you. It was your bench coach. It was Murph. Because Murph's not leaving Milwaukee. But the guy that's under him, the tutelage guy, might get an opportunity, with some younger upstart type of team, Now, the problem is in baseball, how much does the manager make that difference? Some will say it's a 5-game swing, which, when it comes between either making the postseason or not, that's a big deal. But yeah, that's a great question. I would give it 2 years. I don't think it would be after this year, but after next year, if the Brewers win it again, and Ricky Weeks is still being taught, kind of, thrown out there as the guy, as this, very reliable source, I would say somewhere along the way, somebody probably calls and says, hey, for whatever reason, you guys have just had a lot of success and you're churning out quality players. How do you do it? And maybe Ricky Weeks gets a call, but that's a good question. I haven't even thought about that, to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't even thought in that direction, but you got to give, I would say more so the Brewers organization, Matt Arnold, David Stearns, who started kind of, taking over, well, Doug Melvin really, but they started investing in that, they started investing in Phoenix. They built the pitching lab. They started investing in the Dominican Republic. They expanded their scouting base. And then the way they kind of gathered everybody under David Stearns, and now even more so with Matt Arnold, where you get all your scouts together and you have a common thread and message to guys that come into the organization about how you're going to do things. You also create a culture in a clubhouse where you feel like, you hate to lose this guy or that guy. But maybe, it's, I don't want to say interchangeable bits, but you keep that character in the clubhouse and you keep guys in that clubhouse in the managerial position that also know how to keep the character in there and the culture. Why not? Why not? If things continue to stay positive, why not? Ricky Weeks would then deserve a shot managing a big league team somewhere, I would assume at some point, right? We got an hour down. We have got 3 more yet to go. 3 more yet to go. You know what? There was a guy the other day that was criticizing us for not talking enough baseball and Bucks. We've talked nothing but the first hour of the program, and I haven't seen this guy make one comment. Not one. Which means, you know what that means right now? He's probably going to tune in the next hour when we start to talk a little Packers, because I got some questions and emails about the Packers as well. More so than anything. By the way, if you live in Green Bay, I want to hear from you because I see that parking in front yards now has gone from $20 and $30 up to like $100. So parking getting a little bit cray-cray up there. But because the NFL, I guess, is telling family and friends, hey, here's they're putting maps out. Who's got yards open? How about that? Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
While the Milwaukee Brewers have taken the opening 2 games against Colorado, that's the first time they've won a series at Coors Field since 2018. They would do so by winning 17-2. Jackson Cheerio homered and doubled to drive in 5 runs, while William Contreras would also launch a 2-run shot, and Bryce Terang had 2 singles, extending his hit streak to 12 games. Altogether, the Brewers would have 13 hits on the night. Manager Pat Murphy talks and how his team is performing.
We got out of the gates pretty slow. We've been banged up on the mound. We're still Alexander picking us up. He's a relief pitcher picking us up tonight, giving us three plus. We responded pretty well. They did what they needed to do. So I'm not going to say that we're on all cylinders, but this is a good start to the road trip. But, there's another game tomorrow afternoon.
The Brewers will go for the sweep of the Rockies today. First pitch out in Colorado is at 2:10. Turning to the Bucks, there's just 3 games remaining in the regular season, and tonight they'll host the Pelicans. Tip-off from the Pfizer Forum. That will be at 7 o'clock, and then they finish up the season Friday and Sunday against the Pistons.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Wisconsin football has spring practice number 9 today. The spring game coming up on April 19th. And finally, we are just 2 weeks away from the NFL draft that's up in Green Bay. The Packers have picked number 23 in the first round. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome, Bill Michaels Show. How we're looking. Yes, good stuff. Good stuff today. How are you? We've got a lot to get to. Brewers pounded out 17 runs. We always say this. I wish they'd save a couple for tomorrow. I'm just hoping they get the win today. I don't care if they win 2-1. Doesn't matter to me. Just win again. Sweep the series. How we looking? Good stuff. Brewers wake up today, as we all woke up today. Only a half game behind those dreaded Cubs. So only a half game back. Brewers get a win today. Cubs take a loss. You know what that means. Half game up. Back in first, baby. So hoping for good things for the Brewers today in the Mile High City. You've got the Bucks back at it tonight, taking on the Pelicans down at the Fiserv Forum, and the Bucks are on a 4-game win streak right now. Giannis says without Dame, he's loving life because he's got the basketball full time, and everybody else is kind of hanging out, waiting for whatever's left over. So, but hey, they're winning. He's averaging a triple-double. He's been just absolutely on fire. You know, Bobby Portis is back. The fans are into it. As a matter of fact, Giannis said, hey, we want the fans to get crazy here down the stretch. And then obviously come the postseason, we'll see if Dame is able to come back. No word, no timeline, but maybe it happens. Maybe he becomes the accentuation piece to all of this before it's all said and done. In the meantime, you've got the Masters going on today, the infamous Jack Nicklaus interview taking place right now on the Golf Channel, which is fantastic. Love seeing Jack. Also, you've got up in Green Bay, and I'm going to get to Jerry's email here momentarily, but up in Green Bay, you're getting ready for the draft. The city is being built, and I'm talking about the tent city around Lambeau Field. Streets are being shut down, and it is starting to really gain momentum. 2 weeks from today, do not forget on the 23rd, which is Wednesday, 2 weeks from yesterday, we are going to be live yesterday and today, 2 weeks, from at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill right behind Stadium View. I know there's going to be big shows going on up there. I get it. Okay. There's going to be some national shows coming to town. Screw them. We're local. We're the best. We're the ones that have the knowledge. Bring it to us. They'll get the guests, but we're going to have more fun. We're going to have more. And plus, Kate, you're going to be there at Burkle's on Thursday anyway, right?
Absolutely, I will.
Kate's
I'm actually going to be there Thursday and Friday. Come visit.
There you go. Mike Clemens is going to be up there as well. So we got the whole gang damn near on site. So come on over to Burkle's, say hello. We're going to be there. Mike Clemens will be inside Lambeau Field the night of the draft. We'll be back here in studio by that point, but we'll bring you all the first round action of the NFL draft to beginning to end that night, regardless of the time. I think our broadcast gets underway. I think it is 7:00 Central Time, I think. But regardless, we're going to be here in studio, and we're going to bring you live to the podium, and we will hear the commissioner's picks as he makes the pick, all the fun and frivolity that goes on with that, right down to number 23 when the Packers hopefully make a pick or if they make a trade. All of it will bring you beginning wall-to-wall coverage of the NFL draft. So we're looking forward to that. And then afterwards, we'll obviously have Brian Gutekunst's reaction, and then we'll get Mike Clemens with us on Friday to start to talk a little bit more about what we may see in round 2, 3, and on over the weekend, but we're going to have the best Packers coverage for you right here on the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. So we're looking forward to that. This is from Jerry, who, I didn't give out our analytics at this point. Call us, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can find us. You can text us, 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. You can also watch the program. And today, yes, the background, very colorful. It is Augusta right there in the background today because we're doing it in honor of the Masters, which got underway this morning. So you can find us youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on X on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find Kate at Kate F. Gunderson over there on Twitter. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All three of those platforms, social media-wise. The Bill Michaels Show. The Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on Twitch, on Kick, on LinkedIn as well. You can email the program. Email us, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, thebillmichaels.com. You can also track us down on the app, WOZN, The Zone, Madison. You can listen to us after the fact on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts as well. And then on My 24 TV in Milwaukee this Saturday night, 5 o'clock Central Time, you can find it right there. That is Wisconsin Sports Weekly with Bill Michaels, and watch the television program as well. So good stuff. Okay, I wanted to get to this because I asked this question before we went to the top of the hour break. Jerry in Green Bay, he starts out by saying, Unit, I love, ... all love, capital, love the fact that you're on 4 full hours in Green Bay. Best move DUZ ever made. I live on Ridge Road, and yes, we were made aware that our homes are vital for parking. They keep telling us 250,000 plus are going to be here. People don't realize that's more than 3 times a normal crowd for a game on a Sunday. And the fact that the parking lot at Lambeau Field will be used for crowds and not parking, I can't imagine the traffic jams, but hey, it's money. We get to charge more for our bathroom as well. I'm excited. I'm getting $100 for a car, $125 for the bathroom. That is from Jerry listening to us in Green Bay. $25 extra to use the bathroom. Man. See, here's the question, Jerry. I got to ask you this now. If I'm paying extra to use the bathroom, especially $25,
this is going to be good.
Are you just going to say, look, I'm paying for it. I'm going to destroy that thing. And I'm not talking about tearing it up, physically. I'm talking about I had a bad burrito and normally I take it down the road, but I'm not since I'm paying $25, you better have Roto-Rooter on standby, So speed dial 911. No. Roto-Rooter. Yes. Some kind of drain unclogging thing. Can you imagine that? I don't know if I could do that, man. I would have
Thinking about the Uber situation too. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing that a lot of people are going to drive up from Madison and from La Crosse to just Uber in the area, because I can't imagine there are lots of Ubers or taxis enough for that many people, of course.
I got to think that they are advising Uber drivers to come to the area because that's a money day.
They should be.
Yeah.
The Ubers are going to be very expensive. You don't want people driving after they've been at the draft for that long.
Right.
They're parking their cars. I mean, it seems like a logistical problem about who's driving what cars and where the Uber's coming from. But you know what? Everyone always figures it out on game day, so it should be okay.
I'm kind of thinking that Uber's probably calling anybody in the area from Milwaukee to La Crosse and saying, hey, if you get Wausau, you can come over, Appleton, come on over and help us out. And, obviously you'll get a little bit more money. So, I mean, I guess if that's what I do for a living and I know where the people are, why not? Go do it, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. Bathrooms are going to be hard to come by. Ubers will be hard to come by. Parking spots.
Yeah.
Obviously hotel rooms are. Probably data, cellular data. I can't imagine it's going to be super great.
Verizon just put in transmitters everywhere and they all went to 5G.
Perfect.
I just saw that because Verizon is a big sponsor of the Packers, and the Verizon is the one it's the Verizon Green Bay Packers tailgate tour. They just made that announcement that everything's been upgraded to 5G. Everything's ready for the draft. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I'm so excited. It's a great event to have in Green Bay. Just logistically, I'm interested to see how they're handling it. But I'm sure they have lots of people working tirelessly to make sure that everything goes okay. I'm gonna. That's a good question. Now I know, when we're at Burkle's, I'm hardwired, so I don't have to worry about it. But that's when I'm working in the RV does cellular internet. So I wonder how that will be. I think Wi-Fi will be okay. I'm not sure about data.
Right. Aaron says, hey, Unit, are you going to be allowing people to come into the RV and charging? No. Just so you know. If I can charge $25 for somebody to do a number one, that's not bad. But there's no way I'm letting anybody lock themselves in that bathroom. It ain't happening. Last time I did that, nope, not again. There was somebody, I can't tell the full story and the full name, because I'm gonna protect the privacy. But there was somebody on a sports team in this state that were going to the Packers game. And this is what started this. That we're going to the Packers game, that they gathered and knew where we were. Quite a few prominent players. And one of them had a girlfriend and came into the RV and he said, do you care if she uses the restroom? And I said, no, go ahead. I said, just remember, number one. And she did not really, how shall I say this? She didn't really speak English. So we're trying to say, baños, no dos, just number one, you're good, no dos, right? And she destroyed the joint. And it was not even to the point where, I'm not talking about just the fact that when the door opened, whatever was in there came out and punched you in the face like Rocky Balboa. But I'm talking like the pedestal of the toilet was broken. Like that was, I didn't even hear a backup beeper, nothing. So, and it was, he's like, okay, man, thanks. And I'm looking at this like, what the hell? I felt like Chris Rock in the movie Beverly Hills Cop 2 when they pulled up in the cement mixer. And he says, look, I get $20 for cars. I get $40 for limos. What the hell is this? I was standing there like, what the hell is this? That was the way I was looking at my bathroom after it was destroyed. So that was when I said, no more. You're done. You're out. I'm not gonna be the kind guy anymore. So no, nobody's coming into the bathroom in the RV. Just so you know, doors are locked. So. Coach Plyo guy says, "Oh God, Bill, I'm telling you, man, it was really bad. It was. Oh, somebody stopped off somewhere and got the burrito grande with all the mole sauce and fired one off because it was not a good scene. It really, and the worst part is, it wasn't like me, like personally, I'm going, it was everybody in the RV. We had a little bit of a tailgate going. There's about 8 people in the RV. We're like, hey, how you doing? And this is a prominent athlete who came in. So we were kind of like, glad to have him there, obviously. But afterwards, people are like, are you kidding me? That was his girlfriend that did that. I'm like, I'm not kidding you, man. Don't light a match. Blow up. We were right there by the Bart Starr Square. Bart Starr Plaza would have gone up. Boom. That was the one that, people ran out. Everybody had to share a big bottle of Visine. Your eyes were burning. So got to be careful. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. This one's from LaMichael. LaMichael says, talking about going to the draft. Oh, you know what, LaMichael? I had another email regarding this too. So apparently there is different levels of where you can go in if you're going to the NFL draft. God, where did it go? I wanted to get to this. Oh gosh. I can't find it. Anyway, so there's the open level where just all the fans are allowed in. There's no tickets, no nothing. Just come on in, have yourself a really good time, all that kind of stuff. Then there's another level and of how to get into wherever the people can go, but I think you got to be ticketed. Anyway, long story short, I was asked where you can get this. Okay, here we go. It said. These people have done the benefit right. Reaching out, though, in reference to the upcoming NFL draft. I'm trying to see if you know how one would be able to get the access to the draft, quote, theater, where the actual draft takes place. I'm a recent season ticket holder, finally after 28 years, and I'm registered for the free entry into the carnival, but I can't find where you can go to the NFL site that would put you into the theater or how I would go about that. I initially didn't want to bother you about this, but I know that you may know. And what's interesting, David, I don't know. I didn't know. So I thought it was just open to everybody. So if anybody knows, this is like the second question I've had regarding this. If anybody knows, let me know, because I didn't know there was a distinction between the carnival area and the theater area. So if you know how to do that or how to access that or how to get a ticket for that or where that you can find a ticket for that, if that's, possible, let us know. Let us know. Because I did not know that. Did you know that, Kate? That there's 2 levels, I guess, to get into this thing?
Yeah, so I knew that the free experience was not the draft itself, but what I think about is when you watch the draft, you can see that there are fans in there.
Yes, that would be considered the theater, I guess.
Right. So then I looked up because I've been thinking about this for a while because I thought, how fun would it be to be one of the people in the theater?
Correct.
Like, I would love to go. And I'm going to be there that weekend. So I've been trying to figure this out too. And on all of the websites that I found, it says that to access the draft theater, you need to obtain tickets, which are only available to invited guests.
Okay, so that's all that is. Okay, that's what it is.
But I can't imagine that in past years, all of those people were invited guests.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe there's a street team that looks for people who are super dressed up and super excited to bring in there because they're always super enthusiastic fans.
Right.
I'm just guessing right now, so don't mark my words on that. But no, I don't think that there's a way that you can sign up to 100% be in the theater.
Right. I don't know. I don't know where you get those tickets. I don't know how you get those tickets. I know that there have been tickets given away, that they were giving, certain places were giving tickets away for the draft because I thought it was a fully ticketed event until they said, no, you don't need a ticket to get in. Mark Murphy made that announcement the other night. And I'm like, well, what are the tickets for then? So that must be what they're talking about, is for that inner theater. So you're going to stand for the general, you're outside of all of the gates, so to speak, looking in. But if you want to actually get into the theater and stand in front of the stage and all that kind of stuff, that's where you got to get the tickets.
Yeah, I have more information here. So for $3,000 per person, a fan can reserve a spot in the NFL draft theater, which includes watching on a tiered platform, beer, wine, and soft drinks, restrooms, whatever.
Right.
Okay, then for rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday, you can go for $650 per person. But Roger Goodell says that all of the other seats, there are 2,000 seats available in the theater, and those are reserved for pre-selected fans.
Gotcha. So in other words, guests,
of
sponsors,
Roger Goodell and guests of draft prospects.
Right.
So
right.
Nobody is able to get into the draft theater, but it is free admission for the big shenanigans that they have going on
for
outside.
everything around there. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. There you go. So I get it. So I that's kind of what I was thinking, but so in other words, they're not inviting all of the season ticket holders. So unless you're a longtime season ticket holder or a friend of a friend or somebody that knows somebody, or you won tickets, you're not inside the theater. You're just milling around the outside of the theater.
And on the outside, they have a huge screen that's going to show everything that's going on.
And you can watch it inside Lambeau Field.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think, you're not getting into the theater. That's sad for me. I wanted to be in there. But,
yeah. See, I was thinking that's where they're going to put the media. Like we would be in the back of the theater doing our broadcast, and we could like hook into a box and say, well, here comes the commissioner, yada, yada. But the NFL still has not told the media where they're going to be specifically.
That's a significant problem.
And
now, those national shows, do you think that they know where they're going to be? Or do you think this is just all up in the open? The NFL hasn't given any.
No, I mean, I know like there's 2 or 3 different national shows that are going to be at different bars. They're not going to be in the theater. They're going to be at the bars. So I think that's the reason when we were talking to Kevin Burkle over at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill, we're like, you know what, Kevin, we're just coming. We can't wait anymore. I mean, the NFL, and I don't want to go too long-winded in this because we're way late for a break, but the NFL a couple of years ago, they used to have like an events team. It was this huge staff, and then they used PR people from other teams to put all of this together, and they all worked in conjunction with one another because they all do this on a game day basis. They already know how to put events together, and they let a lot of those people go. And now they kind of, contracted out, and it was just like at Super Bowl. We didn't even get our credentials. We were approved for credentials, but we didn't even get our spot in Radio Row until the week before Super Bowl, or 2 weeks before we went down there, I should say, before the Super Bowl. Which is normally you get it 4 months in advance. Your plane tickets are bought, your house is bought, everything's done, you're on your way. And it was really convoluted this time. So, the NFL, and by the way, don't blame the Packers. The Packers do as they're told. This is the NFL's event. This is their baby. So for everybody saying, well, the NFL and Murphy this, it's like you're dead wrong. You couldn't be more wrong if you had to be. This is trust me, the NFL runs this event top to bottom, and the people that they outsource to do it. NFL event. Packers are just the location, the destination, and they just put out the PR that the NFL wants them to put out. That's it. They don't blame the Packers if things aren't right, because the Packers do everything they can within the reason of the NFL. But the NFL, trust me, the NFL security, everything, they run this event 100%. Let's do this. We're going to take away. I'm way late for a break. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Thursday edition. Can't wait for riding weather. I know it's going to get a little warmer this weekend. If it's nice on Sunday or even on Monday, as a matter of fact, Monday I'm going down to the Brewers game. Brewers are going to be taking on the Detroit Tigers at American Family Field. If it's nice, I'm riding. I can't wait. And I'm going to do a lot of riding this summer. And some of the places I'm going to be riding to are going to involve some of the Harley dealers all throughout the great state of Wisconsin. But the one that works with us directly is our friends at Suburban Harley-Davidson. Suburban Motors right there in Thiensville, Wisconsin. The reason we teamed up with them, there's a couple of reasons. One is They're stable. They same ownership group for years and family for years and years and years and years and years. Wayne was such a great guy, and Scott was a great guy to work with years ago. And they've just passed the dealership down through their family. It's still well run, still well respected, and they give you great deals. And all they keep saying is, "Look, we are Harley. Just keep giving us great bikes. We got great bikes to sell. We got a lot of great inventory. They had a great motor clothes department. You can still go in there. You can see Animal behind the parts desk. You can still see Todd, who's kind of the operations manager. They've had their same general manager for years and years. Same girls behind the counter over in the motor clothes department. They still put on great parties. So it's just a terrific Harley-Davidson dealership. Go to suburbanharley.com. Suburbanharley.com. Tuesday nights this year, they're going to be at Wayne's Drive-In, which is at Five Corners up in the Grafton area. And it's kind of a old 50s style ice cream place and hamburger place. And it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've only been to Wayne's like once in my lifetime. So I'm looking forward to riding up there because it's beautiful riding through that area going into like Ozaki and Washington County and such. But it is also a terrific dealership that works really, really well with you on supplying you motorcycles. So check out our friends at Suburban Harley. Go to suburbanharley.com. That is suburbanharley.com, or call them direct 262-242-2464, 262-242-2464. Ask for Todd. Ask for Todd over there. He's a terrific guy. Him and I had a long conversation before we did this deal, and he's such an enthusiast when it comes to that. So one of the reasons I'm wearing the Harley-Davidson t-shirt today. Yes, by the way, Steve asked me earlier why you're wearing the Harley-Davidson dealership or the Harley-Davidson shirt. Is it because of the change of management? I got to admit, JACKED was not my favorite. And I think I am expressing the sentiment of many culturally at the corporation level. I know a lot of friends that work for Harley-Davidson, and don't get me wrong, everybody absolutely loves the brand, but they just felt like it had kind of gotten off the rails over the last few years. And now with JACKED retiring, we'll say, in other words, the contract wasn't renewed, they are moving in a different direction. And I hope with all the dumbass CEOs and all the business people that think they're smarter than everybody else, they get a person in there that culturally understands that product, that culture, that base, and the advancement thereof it, because that's what we're all hoping for, because we absolutely positively love the brand. And we just want to make sure that it's all right. But yes, that's one of the reasons I'm wearing the Harley shirt today. So there you go.
Bill's the next CEO.
I would love to be. You know what? And I was talking about this the other day. Somebody mentioned that. I said, the best CEOs are the ones that aren't the smartest or aren't the brightest when it comes to business. They hire the best people, because CEOs ultimately just have the responsibility of corralling everybody to make sure the product is headed in the right direction. But they let business people do business things and make it right, as long as you don't get outside of the culture of what you are. And that's what they lost sight of. Many seem to feel. I personally, I know they want an American. I know they want somebody that rides. They want somebody in the culture. There's a guy over there named Luke Mansfield. Luke Mansfield, he's not from the States. I think he's Australian. But Luke rides. Luke gets it, man. I love Luke. Luke has been on our ride. He comes down and meets with all the veterans. He comes down and meets with the riders and the culture, and he just identifies with all of that. He lives here in the state of Wisconsin. I know he rides in the state because I've seen him. And I'll see him out at Sturgis again this year, I'm sure. But Luke, if there's somebody I could give a vote to, that Luke Mansfield up in that corporation, man, I love that guy. So he would be one of the guys that I would say, hey, look, he may not be an American, but he's a guy that gets the product. He's a guy that rides. He's a guy that understands us. He's been on the inside. He's seen the good. He's seen the bad, and he can accentuate the good. So I would love to see him get the job. So if it's not going to be me, that's where my vote's going to go. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Aaron says, where do people with wheelchairs sit at the draft? Aaron, that's a great question. I don't know. They've got a map. If you go to the Packers website and the NFL website, they've got maps. They've got maps, and I was talking about this before. They've got maps to show you where to park, houses that are offering up their yards, houses that even include bathrooms, and houses that include tailgates. Because the NFL came in and said, we're like, what? What do you mean? Tailgates in the yards? It's part of the culture. It's part of the culture. So that they've got maps. So my assumption is that, yeah, you're going to have the availability of knowledge as to where to sit, where to find the best, handicapped access disabled access that you can get. So Keith says, what about the great grandson, Bill Davidson? I'd love to see Bill get it. They got away from the Davidsons. They basically said, thanks for your service, get away. And they pushed him out. Willie G's older now, so Willie G's not going to run it anymore. But Bill gets it. I'd love to see Bill be the CEO. I'd love to see a Davidson back, with his fanny in that seat. That would be fantastic. I love Bill. Bill's the guy. Bill Davidson is the guy that came to us and said, look, you guys are the largest ride in the state of Wisconsin. And Bill is the curator and the president of the museum. That's why we're down there, because of Bill Davidson. Bill called and said, hey, we want it. Bring it to us. And that was the reason we ended up going down there to do the ride. So love that. I would love to see Harley-Davidson not only thrive, but survive, get bigger, stronger, better right here in our own backyard. That would be absolutely fantastic. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Got a lot more to get to. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Oh, this is real quick. This is from Jan. Jan says, we've got our yard, which is just a block away, and all the houses in our neighborhood just north of the stadium are opening up their front yards for parking as well. The NFL and the Packers notified us that they would be needing additional parking because most of the parking lot is going to be covered with tents and fans. Therefore, that parking is going to be eliminated. They're going to need to find additional places. They have asked all the residents to, if they want, to open up their yards and homes to all the incoming visitors for the NFL draft. We are going to welcome into our home two couples coming from overseas to see the draft. We are excited about this. They are both coming from Germany. So, boy, coming from Germany, huh? They're both coming from Germany, and they're coming over here via a travel plan, and that's how they ended up finding us. We are renting out our home. We have a 4-bedroom home, so 2 of the bedrooms are going to go to those 2 couples who are going to stay with us for a couple of days and enjoy the NFL draft. Looking forward to showing them the Green Bay hospitality. Jan, appreciate the email. That's fantastic. So it will be truly, then, an international event. That's awesome stuff. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, the Bill Michaels Show, Thursday edition. This portion of it brought to you by our friends at Burn Pit Barbecue, veteran-owned right here in the state of Wisconsin. That's where they started, Racine, Wisconsin. They're now one of the better and bigger veteran-owned businesses, local-owned businesses in the country. As a matter of fact, they ship everywhere. So if you're thinking about barbecue sauces, they have all different types. If you're thinking about rubs, all different types. Hot sauces as well. They carry those now, too. Let's go to Burn Pit, burnpitbbq.com. Burn Pit, P-I-T, burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. And you will not be disappointed. Look for them all over too. They do a lot of stuff in the kind of the Milwaukee market, but I know they go to Madison. I know they get up to Green Bay. I know they do things in a lot of different areas where they have like a booth or a tent set up, and they let you come by and do some tastings and everything. But I'm telling you, if you've got a griller in your life or somebody that loves to smoke meat and all that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, they got a lot of fantastic stuff. They really, really do. So check out our friends at burnpitbbq.com. And the best part about it is they can turn it around in a couple of days. They've gotten really good as far as their inventory and their shipping goes. Burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. Good stuff. Let's see here. Joel says, I'm just wondering if that's going to be too large of a crowd for my son who has Down syndrome and autism, but his caseworker thinks it will be a good experience for him. I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person for something like that. I have no real hands-on experience with something like that, to be honest with you. So I don't know, Joel. That's your determination, man. I would never want to interject myself in something like that because I just don't know. I don't have enough experience with it. But if I tell you this, though, it'd probably be a really cool thing to be able to at least see, right? This is from Maddie. Maddie says, we are heading up to the draft. We are leaving on Tuesday, getting there early, going to go take a lot of pictures and hang out. Where are you going to be on Tuesday? Tuesday night is when I'm going to arrive later in the evening. So really not doing too much on Tuesday night. but we will be at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill, which is right behind Stadium View, for the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Bill Michaels Show. We're going to be there on Wednesday. Going to be hanging out in town on Wednesday night. And then from there, I'll probably be doing some Ubering over to downtown. Might do some Prohibition, go over to the cigar bar and take it easy for a little bit, or, walk up and down the area through there. And then on Thursday, the show is back at Burkle's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time. And then from there, we're going to pack it up. Mike Clemens we're going to kind of shift. Mike's going to be in Green Bay, and Mike's going to take over at Lambeau. And then we'll be back in studio Thursday night for round one. The opening round, the first round of the NFL draft. And then Kate's going to be there on Thursday and on Friday as well, doing stuff and giving stuff away at Burkle's. Now, are you doing it for just the zone, or are you doing it for all of the cluster of radio stations under Midwest Family?
We'll be there specifically for the zone.
That's what I thought. Okay. So There you go. So
we're giving away 2 tickets each day to the Summer of '99 concert, which is Creed and Nickelback and Hinder. So
cool.
Honestly, I'm really excited for this concert. It's in July. It's in East Troy. But we're going to be giving away 2 tickets on both days.
Okay. Well, there you go. So if you want to stop by and win some tickets for that, giving those away. So come on by and get registered, not only to come over and say hello for just to say hi, but you can come over and get registered for the concert, the Summer of '99. It's going to be taking place at Alpine Valley, which is going to be a big one. So there you go. That's fantastic. So I didn't know that. I thought you were just throwing out koozies in church or something. I had no idea for that.
Yeah, we should have some koozies as well, but nothing that you'd want to win more than the concert tickets. Yeah, that should be exciting.
Cool. We got to get our guys. We got to get a call from our guys at DUZ. We got to get somebody from DUZ on. They got to get a hold of me. We got to get some guys on from DUZ so we can kind of find out what they got going on too. So we can kind of promote them a little bit, because
let's do it.
They're a mighty radio station up there in Green Bay. And we
should definitely do that.
They got us blasting now on both the AM and the FM for all 4 hours. So fantastic stuff from our friends at WDUZ. I'm excited.
Thank you, DUZ.
That. Yes.
But we should have them on sometime on Wednesday or Thursday.
That would be that'd be awesome. The Motley Fool says, "Hey Bill, I look forward to seeing you guys in Green Bay." Well, they're coming over from Eau Claire. We're going to be there on Thursday. We'll make it in time to see the end of your show, but we are going to be there loud and proud, hoping they get Igbuka, the wide receiver. If they don't take Igbuka, who do you think they're going to take? God, I've said, I'm on the record as saying, I think they're going to take a wide receiver. I don't know if it's going to be Igbuka. I couldn't tell you. Who knows who may end up falling to them by the time it's all said and done. We can wait and see. Maybe it's McMillan out of Arizona. I doubt very seriously that they're going to end up with Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of Texas. Who knows? Maybe they get him. I would love to see that happen. But he's a guy with 4.29 speed. He is Christian Watson and then some, man. He's got wheels. He is an apex guy. He can be a pretty decent leaper. But more so, he's just got, hey, go give me a stutter and go, and just off you go. And he can outrun a lot of secondary cats. So he would be your downfield threat. I'd love to see them get him. The most secure hands in the draft, I think, is Igbuka. The kid out of Arizona is good. He's got a little bit of a combination of both, but he doesn't excel at both. I think your best, most polished receiver is Igbuka. I think the highest end receiver is Matthew Golden. So if you're looking for the glass ceiling to shatter, so to speak. But if they don't get either wide receiver, there's probably 3 guys that I could look for them to take. One would be Kelvin Banks if he falls far enough. And I know it's not a glamour pick, but if they pick up that big offensive tackle out of Texas, 6'5", 315 pounds, big old dude, right? He is really good. He can play guard and tackle. They love the versatility on those guys. So that would be a guy that I could see them going after. The other guy would be Mikael Williams, the linebacker, the pass rusher out of Georgia. Now think about this, though, for a minute. When we talked to Goody, he was very high on Lucas Van Ness, right? And you heard the story yesterday that I told about sitting down for 15, 20 minutes with Lucas Van Ness the other night over at the Packers tailgate tour. So if they would then take an outside rusher, some would take that as, well, see, you were lying to us. You really aren't secure with Lucas Van Ness. To me, it would be like, look, we're getting another guy. We don't have to start right away. That can we can ease into the system, put him in a training camp, let the best man win, give them both reps. But then you've got a rotation of guys because Van Ness is very versatile. He can play either side. He likes to be able to move around. Okay, that was part of his conversation to me. And he's more comfortable now, specifically the fact that his thumb is healed. He's ready to go. He's stronger. He feels like he's faster and quicker, has worked on his handwork and everything. He feels like he's really ready to go. Like he's going to hit the ground running in this Halfley system coming up in year 2, especially now that he's healthy. But they could pick Mikael Williams. That outside, he has the explosive traits. He can be extremely effective on the edge. Like I mentioned, the other spots that they would be looking for would maybe be a corner. They could get Maxwell Hairston, who is the corner out of Kentucky. A lot of people are really high on him. So that's some of the other names that probably will be in that cluster by the time the Packers pick. So, and to your second part of your question, and I've talked about this time and again, I think if they trade back, I don't think they trade out of the first round. I think if they trade back, they get a pick, but I don't think they trade twice because I think it would take a mammoth trade to take them out of the first round. Unless they feel like there's 8 guys here and we love them all and we could probably get them with the first or second pick in the second round. Then maybe they would. They're not beholden to the fact that, oh, by the way, we're going to have a bunch of Packers fans in the crowd, and if we don't pick, they're going to boo us. I don't think Packers fans will boo that they're not going to make a pick that night, but that'll be very short-lived. It doesn't look great on television, but I think it'll be very short-lived because as long as you get the right players, nobody's going to care in the long run. Nobody will care. The aesthetics won't look good, but who cares? You're not worried about one night. You're worried about the long-term future of the team and about the win now kind of mentality of the team because you're right there. You're on the cusp. So if you get better quicker, I'm all for it. I'm not going to be beholden to a bunch of fans that are in the stands that may yell at me. Just so you know. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. 2 things. One is coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to be hearing from, we got some Masters guys, got stuff from last night that we want to listen to. Also, Eric Branchek of the Green Bay Press-Gazette is going to join us coming up in the next hour as well. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Don't go anywhere. Got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Smoke on the Water, blowing some smoke right at you. Good smoke, barbecue smoke, smoke, right off the smoker. You know what I'm saying? There's a theme there. So check them out. They have always got great music, got great entertainment at the Below Deck over there on Okauchee Lake on Wisconsin Avenue. That's Smoke on the Water, Okauchee. The good old-fashioned Wisconsin bar. That is Sloppy Joe's Saloon and Spoon on Hubertus, in Hubertus, just east of Holy Hill Road. Love that place. That is like walking into an authentic Wisconsin bar. Fantastic. They serve great food there, by the way, but an authentic Wisconsin, not a supper club, but close, right? Stop over to either place. Both of them owned by Joe and Ellen Hennis. They're fantastic people. You're supporting good people, supporting good local business people, but more so than anything, you get a great and a quality experience. That's our friends at Smoke on the Water in Okauchee and Sloppy Joe's Saloon and Spoon right there in Hubertus. On Hubertus, you're good to go. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Ruby?
Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number 1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Good Thursday to you. Bill Michaels Show. I'm excited. Excited for the draft. I'm excited for the weekend. Excited for tonight, as a matter of fact. Next Monday, heading over to American Family Field, checking out the Brewers and the Tigers. So I'm excited for all that stuff. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over there at Dwayne's Cover It All, and they are in Wausau. But if it's a boat cover, if it's an awning, if it's upholstery, office furniture in your home, whatever it is, you know, if you need one of those big kind of sail awnings for your patio, he can do it. Give him the dimensions. He can do it for you. That is our buddy Dwayne, Duanes, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. You can call him direct, 715-870-2119, 715-870-2119. Again, 715-870-2119. I did not, he told me this and I kind of forgot about it. For those that watch NASCAR, or Formula One, or IndyCar. There's a company, and I think they're from the area, but they make the pit boxes. So when you see all those teams, they push those rollers out, and they bring those boxes out, and the boxes raise up, and they got seats in them, and then they got the awnings over them, and that's where they watch the race from all the analytics and all the car. I did not realize he makes all of the covers for those things. Dwayne does. He got contracted by this company, and he makes all of those. So if you think you're not quite sure if you want to put an awning out in front of your business, if he's going to be the guy, and can he get it to you or not? I'd think again, because I didn't realize he was doing all of these boxes, these pit boxes. And this is the same boxes that they put covers on, like for football teams, and they put logos on them and all this stuff. I didn't realize that he does all of that. So he does everything, man. Boat covers and upholstery they can do that, no problem. But yeah, they do these pit boxes and all that stuff for race crews. So check out our buddy Dwayne, DUANE. Who knew? Right here in Wausau, Wisconsin, right here in our own backyard. When you see him on Sunday, when you see him on Saturday, when you see him racing all over the world, that's our buddy Dwayne. That's right here. Take a little pride, baby. Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne's, DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Call him direct, 715-870-2119. And he will be golfing in the now sold out. So if you didn't get in, I'm sorry to tell you, you didn't get in. Sold out. Third annual Bill Michaels Open, Saturday, May 10th in beautiful Viroqua, Wisconsin. So there you have it. 877-867-1670. What the hell are they talking about over in the live stream about pickles and horseradish? Sometimes I catch stuff late and I'm like, okay, there's got to be some kind of insight over there, you know?
I've been watching it. Somebody said, I don't remember who, that they were going to sell pickles on the side of the street at the draft to make some extra money.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, business decisions were made. And I was like, hey, fair enough. I think people are going to be dying to buy whatever.
I want to try
over there.
So if you're listening, I want to try. Bring a pickle or two over to Burkle's. We want to try your pickles.
We do.
We want to try the pickles.
He said he was going to buy some red wine. I remember that. He's going to buy some red wine and make pickles.
Okay.
And then they were making fun of his name and wondering if that was his real name, Jeff Dahmer.
Yeah, that's not his real name.
That's what he was saying.
We got Jeff Dahmer and Ed Gein and everybody else that has names on this live stream. It's like all the mass murderers in the state of Wisconsin have suddenly got
suddenly listening to your show, Bill.
They're all dead. First of all, but in addition to that, somebody's got a very morbid sense of humor. But I don't know if I want a pickle from a guy named Dahmer. But
right? Hey, you just said
if you're selling pickles on the side of the road.
You got to take a chance.
Yeah, I might have to take a chance, but I don't want it to end up being a porcelain buster later in the night. So have to wait and see. All right, we're going to hear from Mark Murphy. When we come back, we're going to hear from Eric Baranchek coming up this hour. We're going to hear from Lucas Van Ness coming up this hour. We're going to hear from some of the Brewers from yesterday coming up this hour. We've got all kinds of good stuff. Don't go anywhere. We are, by the way, 2 hours in. And the 2 hours, just like that, flew by.
It is flown.
2 hours yet to go. Oh, my God. Yeah, we don't need anybody named Aaron Hernandez coming onto the program either. Thank you very much, Matt. 2 hours yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers will go for a 3-game sweep of the Rockies this afternoon out in Colorado. Milwaukee has hammered the Rockies in the first 2 games, outscoring them 24-3, including a 17-2 win last night. Huge part of that success has been Jackson Chourio. The young star had his second 5 RBI game of the season and has 12 RBI over the last 3 since a 5-strikeout performance in the season opener. Manager Pat Murphy says Chourio's been locked in.
It was tough day to see that day, and that's a really good pitcher. He was woke him up pretty good, and he had a good spring training, and that woke him up pretty good, and he's been pretty good since then.
He's not the only one that's played pretty good. The team is too, won 7 of 8 since starting the year 0-4.
We got out of the gates pretty slow. We've been banged up on the mound. We responded pretty well. They did what they needed to do, so I'm not going to say that we're on all cylinders, but this is a good start to the road trip.
Again, it'll be the Brewers and Rockies this afternoon. First pitch is at 2:10. Turning to the Bucks. They're going to look for a 6th straight win when they face the Pelicans tonight at 5-0 form. As it stands, Milwaukee is the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference and holds a 2-game lead over the Pistons. Tip tonight is at 7.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, we're now just 2 weeks out from the NFL draft in Green Bay. Packers own pick number 23 of the first round. And the Wisconsin football team back on the field for practice earlier today. It was practice number 9. They're going to hold their spring game coming up April 19th. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Good to have you. Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. On this fine day, we certainly appreciate you being here. As we always do, but we certainly appreciate you being here on a day like today. It's Thursday. You might be sitting at home or maybe in the office enjoying the first round of the Masters as they teed off earlier this morning. We'll give you kind of an update coming up here in a little bit. It's always, when you start giving out scores early on in the Masters, it really it doesn't usually last. So it's kind of like, you wait till you get to past midday and then you start giving you, because like even Rory McIlroy, he doesn't tee off for another, I think like 15 minutes, and he's one of the favorites to win this thing this year, actually. So some of the favorites aren't even on the course yet. So we'll get into all of that coming up here shortly. I'll give you kind of an update as to where the leaderboard is. So that's coming up. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us? That is a great way to do so. You want to text us, 608-321-1670. Text us. Don't do it while you're driving. But if you're in the office and you can't talk and people around you look at you when you're calling a program, then go ahead and text us. Hide in the cubicle, send out a text. You're good to go. No problem. And that, or you can shoot us an email. Email us too, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. You can find the show itself. Watch it each and every day. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Michaels. Kate producing today and tomorrow, @Kate F. Gunderson, @Kate F. Gunderson. You can find her there. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, the Bill Michaels the Bill Michaels Show. The Bill Michaels Show. You can also find us on the Twitch app, the Kick app, LinkedIn as well. You can find the website, thebillmichaels.com. After the fact, the app is a great way to take us anywhere and everywhere. You can listen to us live. You can listen to us afterwards on WOZN, The Zone Madison. Just download it on your Apple or your Android or whatever kind of phone you got, your Google phone. Find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts after the fact. And then in Milwaukee, we are on My 24 TV on Saturdays. This week, Saturday, it's at 5 o'clock Central Time. Wisconsin Sports Weekly with Bill Michaels will air 5 o'clock Central Time. There you go. Adam says, by the way, we're going to be tailgating with an old ambulance across from Andrewsi's. Be neat if we stopped over, burgers, pickles, and all that kind of stuff. You know what, Adam? I will walk over. Email me if you can. Email me or hit us up over on the social media sites. Email me and remind me next week, and I'll be happy to walk over. Hell yeah, we'll walk over and say hi.
Anything with an old ambulance.
Yeah, right? Old green and gold ambulance. We'll do that in a heartbeat. I'll lay in the back of it. Act like somebody hit me with a bad pickle and I got a concussion. Nobody needs that. So I'll lay in the back of it.
And then if they draft someone you don't like, you can just post the picture, no context.
Right? You can throw me in the back, put it like one of those wraps around my head. Oh, God, not this guy. That type of thing. So, yeah. Fell down and hit my head when I put palm to forehead after they drafted a guy named Justin Harrell. What? Oh, no. No, not Justin Harrell. So there you go.
We'll be like Bill's live stream ended. And then it would just be a picture of that go absolutely viral.
Just laying there. Big lump type of thing. Let's go to Matt listening to us in Green Bay. Matt, what happening, man? What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, I hope you're having a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You too.
The stream that you have, they have a nickname for themselves. It's for the life of me, I can't remember what they call themselves.
The cheap seats.
The cheap seats. At least they didn't call themselves Murderers Row.
That's true. I like that.
especially
I like
with the
that.
ambulance coming into play.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I was a little bit on the last segment. You were talking about the Packers and how you don't think they would move back, but then yesterday you were talking. Some draft guide was saying, "Hey, all the people that the Packers are eyeing may be gone at that point." So my thought is, I mean, I'll listen to you when I get done. Is what if the Packers were to trade back in the early second, like with the Browns or the Giants, Titans, whoever, and basically swap second round picks, pick up a first rounder from next year, maybe throw a Jair or a third rounder in, and then they're picking early in the second, and then that gives them ammo next year because those three teams are still going to be top 10 picks next year. So would that be something worthwhile?
That would be something that would be if they could pull that coup off. Yeah, you would want to do that. I can see that happening.
I remember a couple years ago they made a swap with the Saints and they picked up the Saints first round. So they ended up with 2 first rounders the following year, but the Saints did kind of decent, so they weren't too high. It might have been the year when they got Quay and the other lineman from Georgia, but
yeah. That's a great. Appreciate the phone call, man. And that's a great thought. I could, if they have a guy they're really, really high on, and they know. See, right now, here's the thing: if there's not a lot of teams that are going to take Jair at that salary, and they want that contract, unless they become desperate. That's the reason it's so tough to trade. If Jair was making $12 million a year, he's gone, or the Packers would keep him, but not for the money that they're looking for, that he's looking for. You know what I mean? So I just don't know if that's feasible for them to think about doing that at this point. I personally, I don't think they're going to trade Jair. Unless somebody goes down via injury, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they do that. That's just my thought. But unless somebody goes down on another team, I'm talking about like in one of these mini camps or something where somebody just, on a really weird, out pattern or something, all of a sudden a knee buckles and suddenly on a non-contact injury, they've got a corner that goes down and then they're desperate for a starting corner. Otherwise, I don't think they're able to move Jair. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I don't think it happens. I just don't. So that's, yeah, I don't think that happens. I think if they trade back, I don't think they trade. I still say, unless they trade twice, it would take a lot to get them out of the first round. I don't think they're going to do that. I think maybe they trade back once, but I don't think they trade back twice. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, who knows? I mean, if they do, then it'll be a little bit of a disappointment. But if they get the guys they want, suppose they get, both guys. Suppose they say, we want Igbuka and Mikael Williams, the outside edge rusher from Georgia. If you trade back in the second round and you're top of the second round and you get both guys, then that is a banner day and more picks. That is, Brian Gutekunst had pictures of GMs with farm animals type of day, because then that would be fantastic. I just don't think they're able to do it. I don't think they trade out of the first round. Just my thought. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Packers President Mark Murphy talked about, and I told you the other night when I was down at the tailgate tour, one of the questions, and it was, as a matter of fact, the last question of the night was, what is your lasting legacy when it comes to you looking back on your career as the president of the Green Bay Packers? And he talked a little bit about embarking on his 17th and now final, I can't believe it's been 17 years, 17th and final tailgate tour of Wisconsin. Did you get it, Kate?
Oh, so sorry. I was on the phone with somebody.
Oh, okay. No, the Mark Murphy talking about his 17th and final.
I can absolutely do that.
Tailgate
Let's
tour.
see. Sorry about that. Here we go.
It's a little nostalgic, but yeah, I've enjoyed them all. It's something that's it's a great tradition, and I know it'll continue. And I know not only the current players, but the alumni really enjoy coming back and being a part of it.
Yeah, you had Marco Rivera, Bill Schrader, others that were there. So it was fun. It was a good group. It was a fun group with some really good stories. Amon Green, saw and talked to him a little bit. Tucker Kraft, the tight end for the Green Bay Packers, talked about what it meant to him being on this, kind of tailgate tour around the state.
Being a Packer, it's more than just being on the team. It's just how you, carry yourself in the community around here. So that's what we're going to do. We're hop on the bus and go meet some people.
They've been doing a lot of things with veterans, too. I know that they stopped over at Children's Hospital, and they made a check donation there, but they also stopped at Fisher House, Wisconsin. And they sat down with a lot of families and made a nice donation there. But that was really cool to see that the Packer, Packer fan tour bus, so to speak, the tailgate tour bus stopped in over at Fisher House. That was really, really, really cool and really, really appreciated. And Lucas Van Ness talked about, meeting fans all around the state as well.
I think just getting out in the great state of Wisconsin and meeting all the, amazing veterans and fans and the communities. And I'm just really excited to go across the state and meet everybody over the next 3 to 5 days.
So there you go. There you go. Just a couple of guys just happy to be there. Just happy to be out. Big time. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Don't forget, bottom of the hour, Eric Branch at Green Bay Press Gazette. We're going to talk with him a little bit more as we delve a little bit deeper into the draft. And we'll get his perspective on all of this. And we'll talk to him a little bit about living in Green Bay, what it's like right now. This is from Art. Art says, so you've been describing where everything is being set up, and you said roads are closed down. What roads are closed down? Just want to know because we're heading up to Lambeau next week. So if I can, everybody knows Lombardi Avenue. Okay, it runs past the north end of Lambeau Field. Okay, so that's like when you come off the highway, you take the Lombardi Avenue exit and you go straight down Lombardi. It's kind of like southeast, and as you're heading down, then you got the houses on the left-hand side, Lambeau Field on the right-hand side, because you pass Titletown and then drive past Lambeau Field. Okay. So then when you come down to that next corner, that's Oneida Street. Okay. Oneida Street is now pretty much shut down I believe it's from like Armed Forces Drive. And that's where that goes between the Resch Center and the Hudson Center. Okay. That's Armed Forces Drive. So from Armed Forces Drive over to Lombardi, that's all shut down. That's where they're building the stage because the stage is actually on Oneida. It takes up both sides of Oneida. So in both directions, Oneida there is shut down. So the traffic on Lombardi going, what do they call that? East-west, technically. That is all right there. Okay. So that is all shut down right there on the corner from Oneida going southwest, basically. That's where they're building the stage. And then that parking lot, which is the Johnsonville, what do they call that? Like where the tailgate village is, I think is what they call it. There's a Johnsonville building there.
Johnsonville Brats tailgate village, I think.
Yeah, the tailgate village. So all of that whole parking lot is now the theater and the cinema and all that kind of stuff, whatever they're labeling it, for where the fans and everybody will be for the draft. And then, so the cool thing is like I said, when you're looking at the stage, you'll have, the Resch Center and everything in the background of the stage. And then when you're looking from the stage out, then you're going to see the giant atrium and the giant sign that says Lambeau Field, and the lights will be lit up and everything. And that shot out over Lambeau Field from behind that stage, that's where each draft choice will be walking up to meet the commissioner, and you'll get that shot. That television behind the scenes camera shot that shows from the stage out of Lambeau Field. And I can only imagine it's going to look spectacular. I'm just excited about it. It'll be like a motion postcard to show everybody what Lambeau Field looks like from pretty much the outside if they didn't know already. But it'll be really, really cool. So all those other areas, which would be Lot P, the Lambeau Field Lot 1, Lot 8, Lot 6, Lot 7, all of those parking lots around there are going to be full, but the big lot, the Johnsonville lot, they're not going to be using that for parking, which means all those houses a block over, like on Shadow Lane, over on Ridge, on Valley View. What is the one that I take every now and then? I come out the back way. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's like maybe Barbary or something like that, I think, where the media usually parks in that grassy area. All of that's going to be open, and then Stadium Drive and all the houses there, they're going to be doing all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be all kinds of houses and everything that's going to be used, because like our emailer earlier said, if they truly get 250,000 people, that is more than 3 times the amount of people that go to a Packers game.
Bill, somebody just called in and said that they announced on radio up there that Lombardi Eastward will be shut down starting at Titletown, but Westward will be open at all times.
There you go. So they'll shut that down too. Yeah, I was going to say Eastward, because I got to figure they're going to be spilling out into the streets over on that side of the area, big time. So, and then you've got the Oneida Walk of Legends right behind the stage, which is kind of cool. So you got all that. I think they still have some statues there, if I'm not mistaken. I know they were going to move some, but when they were redoing the rest center, but I haven't walked up and down that street lately. So by the way, for those that want to know, so if you look and you're looking for us, everybody knows where, say, Andruzzi's is, the bar on Holmgren Way is, Stadium Views, the one with the giant, Lombardi trophy out in front of it. But you go behind there on Tony Canadeo Run, okay? That's where we're at, because Burkle's Sports Bar is right behind Stadium View, right there on the corner over by Tony Canadeo Run. So come on over and say hi. That's where we're at. So Burkle's is right next to the Spring Hill Suites, and we'll be live at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill, which has already been renamed on Google, by the way, which is really cool. It used to be Burkle's one block over, but it's already been renamed when they changed the name. It's now called officially Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill. So that's where we're going to be. We're going to be hanging out there, and we're looking forward to that. Hey, coming up in about 10 minutes, our good buddy Eric Baranchek of the Green Bay Press-Gazette is going to be here. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network. Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Ruby?
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no drafts. Got it. Was more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30 2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. The Bill Michaels Show. Hey, we were talking before about heading down to Alpine Valley this summer. They're going to have some shows down there in East Troy, Wisconsin. If you're heading to them, I would highly encourage you. Stop off at LD's Barbecue, LDSBBQ.com, LD's Barbecue. Award-winning. Whether it's sandwiches, pulled pork, or you go down there for the ribs, the chicken. Oh, my God, fantastic. But all the awards that they have won right there on the wall when you walk through the door, and they have just been killing it when it comes to winning a lot of these barbecue competitions. And Leon has been doing it for years and years and years and years. He started as like a food truck over at the BP gas station, and it got so popular he started doing catering. And then after that, people were lining up. You could drive past there almost any day of the week, and you'd see it 10 cars deep. So finally, he built the standalone building, and it has been nothing but a massive success. Tuesday night bike nights are going to be back again this year. Don't forget. But all their own sauces, the award-winning ribs, everything they have to offer right there at LD's Barbecue, LDSBBQ.com, LDSBBQ.com. Serving that meat that is slow smoked over 100% seasoned oak wood every day of the week right there in East Troy, Wisconsin. Stop in, tell Leon and the gang we said hi. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Is Evo like on a treadmill, or what the hell is he doing? I see him on the camera over there.
Now he's rowing a boat.
Now, okay.
Check it out. Oh, he's rowing a boat.
Is that what it is? Oh, he's going down
the stairs.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, we're just hanging out over here. Regular Evo. This is what my boss does.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, he can't hear you.
Now he tripped and fell, and he's hit his head, and we need that pickle ambulance to come and get him.
What am I doing? The
pickle ambulance.
Calling the ambulance.
There you go. Out of the 715. Out of the 715, it says you think the Packers won't trade up. You have also pointed out recently that the lack of impact players drafted by the Packers in the first round over the years have not panned out. Why not trade up and get the top players available? We only need 3 starters, not 8. Love the show. It's not that I wouldn't say they wouldn't do it. It's just not the way they do things. They would rather take the buckshot approach of let's get 8, maybe 9, and 2 or 3 are going to pan out, as opposed to let's go get a sure thing. And it's not, I don't criticize Brian Gutekunst as being the obstinate one. General managers, for the most part, do not like to part ways with draft choices. They all feel like they know their scouting department's the best. They're going to get the guy they need, and they don't have to do anything to get it. And it's just, that's the way it is. Now, if the Packers feel like somebody they want is right there, now they've traded up before. They traded up to get Jordan Love. They traded up to get him. So it's not like it's unheard of, but to go get 3 guys and trade away your 8 draft choices, that's not going to happen. But if they could very well trade up to get one of those guys that I had mentioned before, who knows? Maybe they go get a wide receiver, an edge rusher, or, who knows? Maybe they get a corner. Maybe they go up a couple spots and get a corner, but they're not going to jump up into the top 10. They're just not going to do that. That's too big of a cost, especially for a guy that they believe may end up falling to you anyway. I just don't think that'll happen. But look, if it was me, and now again, I don't want to sit here and knock, but if it was me and my track record of first round draft choices is what it is, and I knew there was a guy that was going to help us, and I knew there was a guy there that was going to help the guy that I traded up to get, my quarterback, or there was a guy there that I believed was a true game record defensively, I'd go get him. I would go get him. I'd push some more chips into the middle of the table. I'd go get him. But that's just not the way they like to do things. So would it surprise me if they did it? A little bit. If they jumped way up, it would shock me. But if they went up a couple spaces to get somebody that they felt was really going to impact this team, I could see them doing that. But they're not going to jump up to get 3 starters and give up 8 picks to do it. It's just that's not going to happen. They just don't do business that way. 877-867-1670. Find us. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, right. They're saying the Packers will be happy if they ended up with 10 more picks. I don't know about 10 more, but if they ended up with, say, a 9 picks or a total of 10 picks in this draft, were able to trade back a couple of times and still get the guys they wanted, yeah, I could see that. And let's be honest. I mean, business-wise, if you can find, now again, that's a big if, but if you can find a guy, like look at Rasheed Walker. He's battling for your left tackle position with Jordan Morgan, most likely coming up in this training camp. But if he gets the job, he's a 7th round draft choice. You got a left tackle for a 7th round draft choice. I mean, monetarily, that's like hitting the lottery. You know, I remember back when Ron Wolf picked Donald Driver when I first got to town. And he came to Donald as a 7th round draft choice and said, man, if you make this team, you're going to make me look good. And Donald not only did, he became a Packer Hall of Famer. That's money. That's house money right there. So if they like that, if they can find that diamond in the rough, that's what Ted loved to do, was find that guy. And that's been something that's trickled down to Goody, because Goody's been pretty good in the latter rounds of the draft. But the impact players you're looking for in the front end, it hasn't been as steady. It hasn't been as successful, at least not to the level of impact that you're hoping for, So, but to say that, would I be surprised if they, moved up? Not a lot. But here's the other thing. And Bobby says, I'm going to laugh my ass off if the Packers draft an offensive lineman or trade out of the first round. You'll hear boos out to Milwaukee. But Bobby, I don't care. That's just it. If you're booing, what are you booing? Let's say they still get the guy they want and they trade out and they still get an extra draft pick. That's a win. You don't get the boos, but that's more the boos of ignorance than it is anything else. Unless, of course, look, if you got a TJ Watt guy sitting there and they trade back and then they end up with Kevin King, the boos are justified. The boos are justified. But if you trade back and you're out of the first round, say the Browns want to move up or the Giants want to move up again and they want to get somebody, and the next thing you know, first pick in the second round or third pick in the second round, the Packers get Igbuka or the corner out of Harrison out of Kentucky or whatever, then that's a win, man. That's a good move. That would be graded highly because you'd still get a guy that fills the need. You still get a guy that was considered a first or early second round talent, and you get a pick out of it. That's house money, man. That's good. That'd be fantastic. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Coming up next, our guy, Eric Baranchek of the Green Bay Press-Gazette. We haven't had him on in a while. It's time to get him back. So we'll talk to Eric when we come back. We'll get his thoughts on this year's NFL draft and the Packers' place in it as we chat with him coming up right after this. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at the official fuel provider of the Big Unit Cruiser. That is our friends over there at Quick Trip, the official fuel provider. Up there yesterday, stopped in, half gallon of milk, grabbed one. I had to. I'm doing the workout thing. I get it. But they got those little apple pies sitting there at the front, like the old Hostess apple pies, but they make their own now. They're sitting right there at the counter. I think are $1.49. I had to grab one. I grabbed one and just like indulged as a kid driving home last night. It was so good. Stop into your local Quick Trip, whether it's just to get good, clean gas, whether it's to get good, clean diesel, like I got to get in the Cruiser, or you're going in for the bread, the milk, the eggs, the butter, maybe a hot meal, food, pothole pizzas, whatever it happens to be. That's our good friends over there at Quick Trip. And don't forget to use your Quick Rewards card and earn rewards all season long. That's our friends at Quick Trip. See you next time.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilby? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no drafts. Got it. Was more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Great to have you on board today. Want to give us a shout? By all means, go ahead and do so. We certainly appreciate it if you chime in along the way. Always glad to have you. Let's do this. Let's go northward. Our guy Eric Branchek of the Green Bay Press-Gazette standing by in Green Bay with all the frivolity that is going on up there. EB, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Oh, how was that Al Capone roast the other night?
That was fantastic. I figured I'd show everybody how you cook one of those things. So that was a little cooking show. I don't ever do the cooking show, so I thought I'd do that.
That's good news. It looked fantastic. I've never seen one of those done. So
yeah, that was not bad. It tasted fantastic. So I was thrilled, and it came out right, tender. I sat up here in the office, watched some of the Brewers game, ate that. Oh, it was a banner day at sea, man, without a doubt. How you doing? It's been a while.
Good. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm starting to get a little bit antsy. You know, we got the draft coming up and all that stuff. So it's. You know, you go through that depression where there's no football going on, you know, so it's a little bit, or at least no NFL football going on. So it's starting to feel like life is coming back.
Yeah, I know you and Pete are down there in the bowels of the Press-Gazette and USA Today and all that kind of stuff and hanging out and trying to figure out what direction the Packers may or may not go. But when you start to look at this thing, look at the draft as far as the help that's needed, let's talk first and foremost about what you think the Packers need going into this draft.
Well, that's a great question, and I am going to pivot away from what most people think. I mean, I think a lot of people are talking they need to have an edge. We need an edge rusher. We need a wide receiver. You know, and I'm not. I don't believe all of that. I think the edge guys the Packers do have are pretty darn solid, and they also figured out that they got some guys at the next level. At the linebacker level, that can rush the passer and they can get some damage done there. Where I think they were missing two things. One, they needed to get, if you're going to rush with four guys, you got to have pressure up the gut.
Right.
That is the part that I think they were missing is to be able to collapse that pocket from the inside. So when the quarterback takes a step out, you know, there's Gary right in your face. You know, so that I think that was a piece that was missing last year from their defense. So when I say this, people get angry with me and tell me you're a clown. You don't know anything because the run defense was fine. It ain't about the run defense. It's about getting pressure on the quarterback and taking that guard center guard, that combination and driving those guys back to the quarterback. The other aspect is that for me, if you're going to be blitzing, and you saw from the second Detroit game all the way through Philadelphia, that they got more confident in being able to play man-to-man coverage. And if you're going to blitz backers or if you're going to blitz two guys, you got to be able to cover man-to-man on the back end. And you saw them get a little bit more comfortable doing that as the season progressed. But I think what they really need, if they want to deploy this type of defense, they're going to need to find guys that can cover man-to-man. And I really like the two safeties they picked up last year. They're going to need one. And I think they signed one. I think they want to get one more or two more. They're probably going to draft two in the draft and find a guy that is a man-to-man type guy. But if I'm looking at this football team, the number two, the way I rank it is a big giant D lineman that can push the pocket. I'm looking for a cornerback, and number 3 on the list is wide receiver. And then after that, you fill in with running backs and offensive line.
Let's go to the offensive line because you assume that it's going to be Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker battling for that left tackle spot, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think Rasheed Walker will probably have the advantage there. He's really developed. He's got great long arms. His initial step sometimes is a little bit slow, and he can get beat inside if he leans a little too much. But I really like how he progressed. I mean, he's kind of one of those quintessential Packers where you take a guy and develop him, and that helps when you do that, because then you have more money to spread around when you got to re-sign vets. So I really like it. And we didn't get enough of Morgan, really. I think his body structure is more suitable for guard. But I know they're going to stick him out there and see what happens. But I think they really are going to have some really fine battle there, and that'll be something fun to watch. One
of the scouts told us that the Packers are getting more physical with Banks and Hobbs, and that's what they're going for is that identity to be a more physical football team, moving Elton Jenkins to the middle, Banks a bigger guy playing that guard position, let Rasheed Walker and Jordan Morgan battle it out for the left tackle position. Hobbs is more of a hitter in the secondary. Do you see that?
Oh, absolutely. And the way that their blocking scheme on offense really shows that is they have, they're pulling guys. They pull all 5 linemen, and that's a testament to the style of defense or offense that they want to play. Plus, they got tight ends that are showing willingness to block, and actually they're able to do it. So they sit back there and one back all the time. So there's really a transformation from just being a zone blocking team to being a team that lets it rip.
So, okay, if they go defensive front, obviously they let TJ Slayton go to free agency. This defensive front is deep. I mean, there's just talking to the guys from our lads, they said they've got 39 different guys that are all graded to be NFL players when it comes to defensive interior alignment. I haven't necessarily gotten that deep into it. I'm thinking maybe there's 12 to 15 that I think are really good. But how do you look at this draft as far as the plethora of defensive linemen and guys that, as you say, can get up the gut?
I like big guys. Those are the guys that I like. And I think there's a couple of them that kind of stick out to me. Derek Harmon from Oregon, he's a 6'5", 310 guy. I like that guy. There's a couple guys that could go later in the draft. The Deion Walker from Kansas, that guy's 6'7", 331. I just have an affinity for those guys. And I think there's a piece to the puzzle here that a lot of people aren't understanding, or they may have overlooked, is that it didn't take very long after the season to replace their D-line coach. And for the better, since McCarthy, they've had, Jerry Montgomery, who's regarded as a really good D-line coach.
Yeah.
And you kind of see there was a let-off there last year, a drop-off, I guess, on the overall passing scheme from the press rush from the D-line. So I expect that, hopefully the change that they made there is going to help. But really, I think they need a great big guy in there. There's that Ohio State guy. He's 6'3", 330. That's another big dude that you can fit in there. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. And that's where if I'm looking at, this is my football team, that's where I'm targeting.
So I want to take a look around real quick before we get back to the Packers as to what's going on this offseason. You guys, you and I really haven't talked about it, but give me your thoughts on what the Bears did, the Lions did, how the Vikings, obviously, how they've gotten better or worse around the Green Bay Packers, and then where the Packers stand and what they've done this offseason in conjunction with.
Well, I think, first of all, if you got to start at the top, and I look at Detroit, and they lost both coordinators. So some people, you can look at the talent on the field and say that there isn't much of a drop-off there, but, you're taking 2 well-respected offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators out of your club, and your team immediately they're scrambling. They knew it was going to happen, and they probably, teams start looking at what they're going to do after they depart and knowing that they're going to depart. So, they probably had a plan in place, but I think that's going to be, it's probably going to be some work in progress on that with that football team. And the Bears always win the off season, right? So until they win an off season and actually go 500, I don't give them any credit. It's just good for you. Awesome. You guys got a bunch of payroll guys. Great job. Win a game, win the division. And the Vikings, I don't know. It looks like they're going to march out that quarterback, and having him tip the pine of the year probably is helpful. And it'll probably calm him down, and he's got a year to be the academic part of being a quarterback. So that'll probably help him. But, I still feel like, they're a little long in the tooth in some areas of that football team, and I'm not so sure, how they're going to fare. But and then you look at the Packers, who didn't really add a whole lot, and you feel good about it. And I think primarily because you got a quarterback that's going to be coming his third year as a starter, and the game should slow down for him, because after the injury last year, the one thing I noticed was that he just didn't let it rip all the time, and I think he's got it. And they had there's a lot of pressure on that quarterback. Signed a big contract. You're the next Aaron Rodgers. That's a lot of pressure. Plus, you still got to say hut and get rid of the football. But I feel like they were just a little bit off, and they're going to be okay. Actually, I think they're going to be better than okay. I think they're going to be a really solid offense, and if they add a few pieces on defense, people will say, well, they got Kenny Clark, and that doesn't matter. You look at the teams that were in the Super Bowl, or the teams that were in the AFC and NFC championship games, that D-line was top tier. And that's where the Packers were just a little bit off last year, that they want to make a big run. That's where it starts.
So, and if I'm hearing you correctly, you're basically saying you had beef in the trenches, and the learning experience of last year and battling through the injuries, that makes you battle tested. Therefore, you should naturally get better from within, which is the reason you're saying there's going to be a rise for this team this season.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm very confident in what they're doing up there offensively, and I think it's just gonna, get through it. Walk through the mud. Now you know how to do it next time.
So
I think it's gonna be pretty good.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
There's a lack of. There's obviously, we all see this big hole at wide receiver, and certainly I'm not discounting it. But I think the way that they play offense, you don't need to have a super stud. As much as we would all like to have, Higgins or someone like that come over. Certainly there's a lot of positives to that, but I think they're going to run the football, play action pass. You don't need to have Jerry Rice to do that.
So what's it like right now in Green Bay with, Oneida being, shut down at the end, down by the rest center, and with all the hoopla going on in that area? What's it like up there right now?
Well, have you ever heard the expression 10 pounds of crap in a 1 pound bag?
All the time. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening down there. I mean, you can't get a hotel that week. People are driving 2 hours just to get out of there. It's gonna take the hotels are backed out to Wausau and Milwaukee even, and some guys have decided to go north because the prices were a little bit better. People are renting out their homes and opening up their front yards for campers to park. It's pretty interesting to see what's transpiring. But I think Green Bay is going to rise to the challenge, and I don't think there'll be any real negatives. But certainly getting it from point A to point B is going to prove to be a little difficult.
Yeah, we're going to be. Hey, why don't you stay? If you're around on Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to be at Burkle's. If you want to come over and join us live.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Yeah, come on over.
Tonight might be fun.
We'll even feed you.
Cool. Oh, you just said the magic word.
There you go. That's how you get a media guy. There you go. Hey, we can't pay you, but we've got free food. And the next thing you know, they're swarming around. Yes, that's it there. Hey, buddy, I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you up there, and we'll give you a shout real soon. If not, I'll see you there on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, we'll touch base.
Oh, man, I look forward to it, Bill. Take care.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later. There you go. Eric Branchek, Green Bay Press-Gazette, joining us for a couple of minutes. Coming up, kind of his counterpart in about 15, 20 minutes. Pete Dougherty, the Green Bay Press-Gazette, is going to be joining us as well in USA Today. And we'll talk to him and get his thoughts also as Green Bay gets ready. The 2025 NFL draft is not far away, so get excited, get ready, and we will see you at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill, which is right behind Stadium View, coming up next Wednesday and next Thursday. The Bill Michaels Show is going to be live in Green Bay from both of those on both of those days at that location. Hey, if you're thinking about getting out of town, maybe you got a big trip or maybe a small trip or just a weekend getaway, whatever it happens to be, our friends over there, anywhere in the state of Wisconsin, Dream Vacations, 414-208-4221, 414-208-4221. That's, Michael and Melissa, that's who I called. And I said, hey, look, I got a lot of people arguing with me about getting out of town. And I want to get out of town, and I want to do it with our friends. Don't get me wrong. But it's becoming a giant pain in the butt. And everybody's got a different opinion about what they want to do, how they want to get there, where they want to go, where they want to fly out of it. I'm like, I'm done with it. All I want to do, drink in one hand, cigar in the other, beach around my feet, water splashing against me. I'm good to go. Give me some sun. That's it. He said, I got you covered, got you taken care of. They did it all. And I said, everybody, go to them. And it's been great. They have handled everybody's issues, everybody's complaints, everybody's positive feedback, and they have put it all into one bag, so to speak. And we can't wait. As a matter of fact, it's 40 days from today that we'll be leaving. So looking forward to it. That's our friends at Dream Vacations, 414-208-4221, 414-208-4221, whether it's a resort, a cruise, maybe you want to follow the Packers. Maybe you want to follow the Brewers. They can help you out with a sports travel trip as well. Call them, 414-208-4221.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michael rules in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Our friends at MIBA Industrial. They are they're looking for good people right now. And whether it's in the manufacturing business or CNC machinist, they are looking for you and they are paying top dollar. They're expanding. So here in our own backyard, Grafton, Wisconsin is where they're located, but you can get a hold of them. You can search Indeed. Search Indeed, M as in Michael, IBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin. And they're looking for you. They're looking to expand their team, and they need people now, and they're willing to pay top dollar to get you. All kinds of good stuff that goes along with it as far as, benefits and such. 262-337-2210. You can call them, but you can also search them on Indeed by going to MIBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin, and see for yourself. They are manufacturing hydrodynamic bearings for the power generation industry. They work with a bunch of different companies that use all of their different products, and they're all basically power sourced in some way, shape, or form. So check out MIBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin. Call them 262-337-2210, 262-337-2210. We're 15 minutes away to talk to Pete Dougherty of the Green Bay Press-Gazette, talk a little more Packers football. We got another hour yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers will go for a 3-game sweep of the Rockies this afternoon out in Colorado. Milwaukee has hammered the Rockies in the first 2 games, outscoring them 24-3, including a 17-2 win last night. Huge part of that success has been Jackson Churio. The young star had his second 5 RBI game of the season and has 12 RBI over the last 3 since a 5 strikeout performance in the season opener. Manager Pat Murphy says Churio's been locked in.
It was a tough day to see that day, and that's a really good pitcher. He was woke him up pretty good, and he had a good spring training, and that woke him up pretty good, and he's been pretty good since then.
He's not the only one that's played pretty good. The team is too, won 7 of 8 since starting the year 0-4.
You know, we got out of the gates pretty slow. We've been banged up on the mound. We responded pretty well. They did what they needed to do, so I'm not going to say that we're on all cylinders, but this is a good start to the road trip.
Again, it'll be the Brewers and Rockies this afternoon. First pitch is at 2:10. Turning the Bucks. They're going to look for a 6th straight win when they face the Pelicans tonight at 5-0 form. As it stands, Milwaukee is the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference and holds a 2-game lead over the Pistons. Tip tonight is at 7.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
When a company only does business in Wisconsin, that's Wisconsin Strong. Rural Mutual provides all lines of insurance, including commercial, farm, home, and auto. And your premiums stay right here to keep Wisconsin strong. Local agents, local underwriters, local claims adjusters.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, we're now just 2 weeks out from the NFL draft in Green Bay. Packers own pick number 23 in the first round. And the Wisconsin football team back on the field for practice earlier today. It was practice number 9. They're going to hold their spring game coming up April 19th. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil. Print.
Welcome in. The Bill Michaels Show. We are enjoying our day, and hopefully you are as well. As we cover everything today, we got everything going on. I did want to give you an update because, and I'll get to all this coming up here momentarily. But I do want to let you know that you can always track us down on many different platforms. First and foremost, you can always track us down by calling us 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can find us there. You can also find us by texting us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. You can find us there as well. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Subscribe absolutely free. Just hit subscribe. And that way it'll pop up when we go on the air and it'll let you know we're there. And you can watch us or you can swipe us away, whatever it happens to be. You can also track us down on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find Kate F. Gunderson, at Kate F. Gunderson over there on Twitter as well. The Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, great ways to track down the program. The Bill Michaels Show. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. You can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, thebillmichaels.com. On the app, WOZN, the Zone Madison, out of Madison, Wisconsin, our flagship station there. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts as well. And on My 24 TV in Milwaukee, every Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, 5 o'clock Central Time this week. 5 o'clock Central Time this week, we get bumped up a little bit because they've got Admirals hockey on. So 5 o'clock Central Time, we're going to be on My 24 TV. As far as the Masters go, little scoreboard update, because we have not given you one yet. And now that you got a lot of guys that have now teed off, they're well into the course and well into the day. So might as well go ahead and go through this a little bit. Tyrell Hatton of Sweden is your leader right now through 12. He is 4 under. Colin Morikawa, Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler was my pick not to win it because he won it last year. So I'm kind of like, I'm a little battling here. Colin Morikawa was a guy that I kind of looked at. But regardless, both of those guys are 3 under par along with Justin Rose right now as well. Some of the other ones you may know, Jason Day, 2 under par in this one. Michael Kim, 1 under par. Freddie Couples, long time at the Masters, 1 under par. 1 under par right now. Patrick Reed is 1 under par through 15. Yoquan Neiman, who was leading for a while, is now 1 under, and he's 3 shots off the pace. Bubba Watson is 1 under through 8, 3 shots off the pace. Sergio Garcia also 1 under through 5. Rory McIlroy just got out there a little while ago. He's 3 holes in. He's 1 under par as well. Bryson DeChambeau is early on 1 under today. In the clubhouse now with their rounds complete, you've got even par Cameron Young, Zach Johnson, Jordan Spieth is even par, Tony Finau, Adam Schenk, Brian Campbell, Matt McCarty. All those guys are even par on the day. Xander Schauffele, even par today as well. Hideki Matsuyama, even par. So there you go. So that's kind of your update on the Masters. Just trying to go through some of the Patrick Cantlay is 1 over. Tommy Fleetwood is 1 over. I'm just trying to go through some of the more recognizable names that you may be searching for today. Christian Kirk is 3 over for the day. He did not get off to a good start. He's in the clubhouse, as a matter of fact, at 3 over. Trying to think who else here. I think that's it. Lucas Glover is 4 over through 5. He's having a rough day. And that's kind of it. 95 guys are on the course now. And there's only one guy. And as a matter of fact, everybody's now out. So there you go. So that's the reason I didn't want to give you, because the last group just went off. So I didn't want to start giving all these scores, and all these players had not played yet. So you got at least everybody is either done or out on the course right now who just got teeing off. So that's kind of where things stand right now regarding the Masters. There you go. 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, that's a great way to do so. Email us as well, so you can find us via email, all that kind of good stuff. So there you go. That's your Masters update. Your Masters update. We got Pete Dougherty, the Green Bay Press Gazette, going to be joining us coming up here in about 10 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading some of the stuff. What do you guys talk about over there? On the live stream, Jay says, is My24 TV on YouTube, or is there another way to get it? You can pretty much just go to the My24 TV app, go to My24 Milwaukee, and there's an app, or not an app, but a link there. I think you can watch the show there. I know they were going to add one because the first week we're on, there was not a link, but I think they've added one since. So I think you can find it there on My24. I don't know if you can watch it live, but I know you can watch it maybe an hour later. But and maybe you can watch it live. I don't know. I don't know what they've done. But the My24 Milwaukee, and you can watch the show there on the app. So there you go, or on their link right there. This is from Seth. Seth says, "Hey guys, love the chatter about the upcoming NFL draft. Two things. One, I disagree. I think they need a wide receiver. They need a number one. I believe they need a guy that is a burner. Who is the burner in the draft? That's the guy I would pick." Well, okay, we'll get into that coming up here momentarily. He also goes on to say that it's finally good to see Contreras starting to hit. And oh my God, what a start to the season our guy Cheerio has had ever since the 5 strikeouts. He has been on fire. First of all, 100%. Completely. I couldn't agree with you more. 100%. He has been, since that time, he has been just lighting it up without a doubt. He is focused. This is really reminiscent of what he was doing going back to spring training. He got off to a slow start on the season, admittedly, but in spring training, he was raking, man. And that's kind of where he had that bad series against the Yankees, and then after that, he's been tearing the cover off the ball. So Jackson Cheerio, early on this season, knock on wood that he keeps it up.
We have to remember that he's 21, soon to be 22. His birthday is tomorrow, but like it's got to be hard. You're playing in New York at the Yankee Stadium. 21 years old. I get it. I understand what he was going through, but so happy to see him, having some success here. And happy birthday, right? Happy early birthday.
Right. Absolutely. Real quick, going back to the email, the burner is Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of Texas, he's listed, I believe, as the top wide receiver in the draft. But the Packers aren't going to get him. I would be shocked if he fell down to the Green Bay Packers. He's a 4.29 guy. He's a burner. Terrific route runner. Very smooth in getting it out of the breaks. Good hands. But he's a guy that you can consider to be a big play receiver. And put it this way, he averaged over 20 yards per reception in 9 different games last year. And with that speed, he can beat just about anybody. It doesn't matter if they're in college or in the NFL. He's got 4.29 legit speed, and he's got breakaway speed. If you watch his tape, once he gets the ball in the hands, if he gets a little like a shimmy shake and a glimmer to get out and get away from somebody, you're going to have a tough time catching him. So that's the guy. Now, like I said before, I don't think he's going to be there. I just don't. I think it's more like the kid out of Arizona or the kid out of Ohio State. Because if you look at Golden is the guy that is probably the highest ceiling, coming, blasting onto the scene, coming into the NFL. The guy that is probably the most polished and ready to play and detail-oriented with really good hands, that's Igbuka out of Ohio State. And Igbuka is 6'1", 202 pounds. Now, you'd like him to be faster. He's a 4.5 guy, not a 4.23 guy. So he's a 4.5 guy. But there's 2 things about him that stand out. One is really good hands. Really good hands. He reminds me a lot of like Jordy Nelson coming into the league, if you want a comparable. The second thing about him, what Matt LaFleur loves, what is his saying? If there's no block, there's no rock. He loves to block downfield. He loves to get out in front and can lock up defenders for ball carriers, whether it's another wide receiver or it's a running back or it's a scrambling, quarterback, whatever. He can block. He stands out. If you watch him on film and he's not getting the ball, watch him downfield. He likes to block, very willing to do the dirty work, and they love that kind of guy. That's the reason the Packers went and looked at Golden, but they also went to the shoe and watched Egbuka work out. And that's the reason I think, now it could be a smokescreen, but that's the reason I think that if Egbuka is there at 23, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. I just kind of have that feeling because he's not a burner, but he's another guy in that pool that is polished and likes to block. He fits that motif of what the Packers are looking for. So that's, and in short, he's what they consider to be already like a professional, NFL ready. The coaches love him. He's a grinder. He's a gym rat. And he also is a guy that can move the sticks rather easily because of his size. So that's the reason I think if they're going to take a wide receiver, that it's not wishful thinking on my part. It's just that I think he probably would fit him the best. Now, there's McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. This guy's 6'4", bigger, 219 pounds, big body. He can be a mismatch, especially if you put a small corner on the guy. He's plays with more physicality than he does speed. He can snatch the ball anywhere. Okay, he's got good hands, but he's a physical guy. He generates a lot of separation because he can use his hands real well. He was third in receiving yards in the country, by the way. So it's not like you're getting the third place guy and a guy that's not very good. I mean, any one of those guys would be a really good find for the Green Bay Packers. But 6'4", 219 pounds as a wideout, that's especially if you put him in the slot. You get him matched up with a safety. If you get him matched up with a corner, he's not going to beat him in speed, but he can certainly beat him in height. Whereas maybe you can get match speed for speed on the outside in a slot, in a crossing pattern, but also he's bigger than most safeties that are out there. Most safeties are anywhere from 5'11" to 6'1", 6'2" tops. And he's got pretty good snatch capability when it comes to his hands and going up and getting a football. So either any one of those guys, I really, really like. So we'll see what happens. But I just get the sense that this might be the year. And I don't say it as I guarantee it. I say it as I would lean 50% of me would say that they're going to get a wide receiver. 20% of me says they get maybe a lineman either side of the football. And another 10% says edge rusher. Another 10% says maybe corner. Something like that. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Pete Dougherty, the Green Bay Press-Gazette, we'll get his thoughts on all of this. Before we do anything else. Coming up, that's after we tell you a little bit about our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They have got different lines for different budgets, for different people, and different styles. If you want the vinyl, boom, got it. Impervious, stronger than fiberglass, got it. If you want the wood windows, the custom windows, you can go up all these different levels. You can make them even look, say you got a house that was built in the 1800s. They've got 1800 styles of windows that they can make for you. No problem. They've got different innovations, the hidden screen, the roll screen, slider windows. You lock them up at night, lay your head on your pillow, safe, sound, good to go, no problem. Or how about adding value to your home? How about adding curb appeal? And like I said, the safety factor is fantastic. So many different reasons. Did I forget 0% financing? Oh, by the way, 0% financing. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com or call them 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. They have showrooms all over the state of Wisconsin. 855-PELLA-WI or go to PellaWI.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply in 4/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good to have you. If you are going to be out and about, maybe this afternoon, you're going to go maybe watch the Brewers game someplace, maybe over the weekend. You're going to go for a breakfast. You're going to watch some Bucks. You're going to watch the Masters. Maybe just check something out sports-wise or just go meet some friends. Oh, it's a good place to go. Social. So everybody wants to get social. Social House, H-A-U-S, Social House over there in West Lisbon Road, Menominee Falls. It's Menominee Falls, but technically it's right there next to Brookfield. So you can find it on Lisbon Road. Social House is great burgers. I highly recommend the Tiger Burger. Otherwise, the breakfast sandwiches are fantastic. And don't forget, every Sunday morning when you head in there, you get yourself maybe a Bloody Mary or a beer or something like that. You get free pancakes with it. There's nothing better than free chocolate chip pancakes. Taste even better when you got a cocktail and they're free. Nothing better than that. Just saying. Joining us now for the Green Bay Press Gazette, USA Today, all that kind of good stuff. Our good friend over there, Pete Dougherty. Pete, how you doing, pal?
Pretty good, Bill. How are you today?
I'm good. So how is the hype as you walk around the city of Green Bay and the Lambeau Field area? How you feeling?
I haven't been over by Lambeau for a while, but the stage is, they shut down Oneida Street, and the stage is pretty far along. I flew in to come back from the owners' meetings, and, you could see that they were working on it. There's a lot of signs around, like anywhere you go to the, the Y or other places like that, and there's, draft signs. But, there's a little buzz in the air, but I think next week it'll start really picking up.
So as you start to now, first of all, let me do this. Let's back up. I want to talk about you were at the owners' meetings. Give me your impression of what Goody had to say, what LaFleur had to say as you start to look towards needs and the draft.
Yeah, nothing very illuminating. I think they're very cognizant of not giving away their plans. They talked about feeling good about the receivers they have. They talked about feeling good about the pass rushers and the defensive linemen they have, but those are two, pretty big needs. I think that's obvious to everybody. So, nothing draft wise stands out other than, I think Gutekunst is still going to be a traits-based drafter. That's what he's been. And I think he'll continue to be that. But there'll be exceptions, but, traits are really important to him. I think, as he said at one point, there's just certain quality, certain traits a player has to be able to function well in this league. And so, that's why size and speed and some of those measurables matter to him.
So we heard it when we were down at the combine and about, pass rush, and everybody had this focus like, hey, you want to be better in that area. And we talked about, no more Preston Smith and Lucas Van Ness. And nobody asked the follow-up. What makes Goody believe that Lucas Van Ness is going to be that guy? Now, I talked to Lucas Van Ness the other night about specifically that, but has Goody given you any indication as to why he believes that Lucas Van Ness is ready to take that next level step?
No, we had a chance to talk with him for a while, and that question did not come up. And, you're right. I probably should have asked it. Their firing of the defensive line coach, Rebovich, I think that's got to be a big part of it, is that Van Ness hasn't developed. So he just said, he's good to said something to the effect of, we think there's, the best is to come from some of these guys who are on the roster. And obviously he was referring to Van Ness there. I think they just think he's a big athletic guy. And, as he learns the craft, that he'll get better, but he wasn't a craft guy in college, and he hasn't been so far in the NFL either.
When I talked to him, he talked a lot about the thumb and kind of the hindrance that it was last year and being broken and busted up and not being able to use it and taped down. And he couldn't really work out the way he wanted to. And he went through the litany, but he's like fired up. He's like, look, I'm ready to go. I feel like he also the absorption of second year in Jeff Hafley's system, which apparently, according to him, many guys are really high on what Jeff Hafley had them doing and kind of the way he teaches it. And he turns the light bulbs on for a lot of guys. So do we just look through osmosis for this defense to get better this year?
Well, there's going to, I would assume, or you would think there would be some progression there. Just don't know how much you can bank on. There are guys who, they always talk about the first year to second year jump. I'm not so sure the jump isn't bigger for some guys, at least second year to third year, actually. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen for everybody. I just happened to look at, Trey Hendrickson, and he didn't do much of anything his first 2 years and then really took off. Now, I'm not saying Van Ness is going to be Trey Hendrickson, but there's always the chance that the light bulb, goes off for the guy. And maybe the change in defensive line coach will make a difference. So you never know about these things. I don't think you can call the guy a lost cause yet, but, this is obviously just a huge year for the guy, because basically, if it doesn't happen, if he doesn't start really showing it as a pass rusher this year, then, he's a solid defensive end who plays the run well, but, they've got to get after the quarterback better. It just makes your whole defense better. We all saw what it did for the Eagles this past season.
Yeah. As we all sit here and analyze damn near every guy from 13 all the way down to 30 when it comes to talent in the draft, is there anybody, because everybody does a mock draft, is there anybody that you're eyeballing or a position that you're eyeballing to say, hey, there's going to be a couple of guys that the Packers can get sitting there at 23 that this would be beneficial to them?
I still think, I mean, the four positions that are the best bet are defensive tackle, defensive end, receiver, corner. I mean, I'll be pretty surprised if it's not one of those four positions. I still think defensive line is probably the best bet. So, you got Harmon from Oregon, you got Nolan, maybe Grant from Michigan. As far as inside guys would be a possibility. And then, if that Mikael Williams, if he makes it, I think Georgia, if I remember right. If he makes it to 23, I mean, he's got, the height and length and all that stuff that these guys look for. I think he'd be a real possibility. The interesting thing would be if Shamar Stewart's on that, is still available because he basically fits exactly the Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness mold, has got all the traits you're looking for. But what did the guy have? 4.5 sacks in 3 years in college?
Yeah.
So I would be really interested to see if he's on the board, whether Gutekunst would take a third guy with who's basically got the same profile as an outside rusher.
Yeah, I sit here and I look at the different wide receivers, the kid out of Texas, the wide receiver at Book out of Ohio State, to McMillan out of Arizona. I keep looking at those guys and thinking, because they're all projected to go from like 18 to 30, somewhere in there. Is this the year? Because I'm kind of thinking 50% of me is saying that this is the year they take a wide receiver in the first round of the draft. Do you look at it that way?
I mean, it is definitely a possibility, and I would never dismiss it. The history, it's hard to look at that history and think they're actually going to do it, but they would have taken, you tried to trade up for Justin Jefferson. I don't think any of these guys is Justin Jefferson, but it would be really interesting if McMillan's on the board because he's a really good receiver. The one thing he doesn't have is the big time explosive speed. But he's got the height and the skills and the length and the catch radius and all that Gutekunst would love. So I would think if he's there, that would be a real possibility. I'm just not sure he makes it quite to 23. Like I said, I still think most likely it's going to be a defensive tackle or defensive end. But, it all comes down to these individual evaluations of guys.
Right.
And you never know. Like I was talking with a high-ranking scout just before you called, guy who used to be a GM in the league, and he said, you could go to every team and you get totally different grade. You go from one team to the next, and the grades on these guys are so different. Everybody just sees players differently, so you never know what guy at what position Gutekunst just might really love, who will be available when he picks, or at least close enough where maybe he'd trade up for him.
Yeah, that's because I look at the different receivers we talked about. Like Golden, he's a burner. He's a 4.29 guy. He can fly. He's 5'11", but he can fly and he can stretch the field. And they're not going to get Christian Watson back anytime soon. For those that think that he's going to all of a sudden be back in October, I would be shocked if he's back before the end of November. No way. So, and then will he even have his speed again? You don't know. But Matthew Golden would be the stretcher. Egbuka is the most polished. Everybody believes he's the most NFL ready, and he does the little things. He's a guy that is not afraid to get out in front and block for other guys. And Matt LaFleur, man, no block, no rock. So he loves guys that hit downfield. And then you just talked about the kid out of Arizona, who McMillan, who's 6'4" with 220. He's not a burner, but that guy can go up and get a ball. So they each have a different skill set. It just depends on who they like the most, if those guys are then available at that point in time. And the other thing I'll say is, I don't think they're trading, because everybody is fearing that they're going to trade out of the first round and start booing Gutekunst and booing the Packers at the stage that night. First of all, I'm glad that Goody said, look, I'm not beholden to anybody. I just got to make the team better. So that's good. But to me, they would have to trade out almost twice to trade completely out of the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a huge drop. I don't think it's likely that, they like having that pick, even though it's in the 20s and it's not, you'd rather be picking in the top 10, at least for the pick. You don't want to have the record to get there, but yeah, they like having that pick. You get a shot at a guy who you think is pretty talented. You get 4 or 5 year contract, depending on, whether you do the 50-year option. So I I'd be surprised if he traded out of them. I might trade back a few spots, but I'd be surprised if he traded out of the first round.
Yeah, me too. Real quick, I want to run through the rest of the NFC. So you and I have not really talked a lot since the offseason got underway, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on what the teams around the Packers, what your thoughts the teams around the Packers have done.
You know, it's funny because I do mailbags every week, and I've gotten a lot of questions about, everybody in the division got better. And I'm like, well, the Vikings, say what you will about Sam Darnold and how he played in those last two games, but he had a really, really good year last year, and they don't have him now. And J.J. McCarthy, let's just say J.J. McCarthy is going to become a winning starting quarterback in the NFL. It's still probably going to be a rough road next year. So even though the Vikings signed a few guys, the quarterback position is so important that, I just don't see them being nearly as good as they were last year. And Detroit gets Hutchinson back, who obviously that guy's a real difference maker. So that's big, but they lost some players. They lost 8 coaches, including both coordinators who looked like they were really good coaches. That's a huge brain drain there. So, I don't think they got better, but they were a good team, so they'll be a contender. The Bears, as we all know, they always have these great off seasons, and until it actually shows up on the field the next season, you got to be a little skeptical.
Yeah, no, I completely see where you're coming from. It's kind of like go win the offseason, but then win some games and turn it into. I get a feeling like this might be a little bit different. Like they may have gotten the hire right. They brought a guy in to nurture a young up and coming quarterback. They believe they fixed a lot of problems on their offensive line. So if I had to circle to a team to say, hey, this might not be your dad's same old, I hate to say it, but I might circle the Bears and go, man, they might have put the train on the tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. And, the coach certainly looks really promising. And I mean, that quarterback, he holds the ball way too long. That's a big problem. But he is, we saw it at Lambeau. He is a super talented guy. So they do have a lot of things going for him, but a lot of things can derail a season. And, sometimes these really hot assistant coaches who look like they're sure things, they end up that they're really good coordinators, but they're not good head coaches. So, I mean, the proof will be how that team plays over the next 2 or 3 years,
Pete, I'm going to do the same thing I did to Eric Branchek. We are going to be live at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill right behind Stadium View on Wednesday and Thursday. At any point in time, if we can get you to swing over, I will feed you for free. Just so you know.
That would be awful tough to pass up. I'm just wondering how much of a nightmare it's going to be getting around over there.
Yeah, I know that I understand. But if we'll see if we can't schedule you in, and there will be some food waiting for you. And I know that's the direct pass for those that don't understand to a media person's heart is free food. So swing by if you can.
All
right,
yeah,
buddy.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, see you later. Pete Dougherty, the Green Bay Press Gazette, USA Today, joining us for a couple of minutes and giving us kind of some of his insight. I wanted to go over the same thing, just get different perspective, and it seems relatively similar as to what we heard from Eric Branchek a little bit earlier as well. So good stuff there. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We got a lot more to get to. We still got 2 big segments left to go. This portion of the program brought to you by Veterans America. Own the land you defend. They believe in that. Anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. Call my buddy James, 262-255-2000. 262-255-2000. Again, 262-255-2000. That is Veterans America. They are the top VA lender for military members and veterans, for home buyers, second mortgages, rental properties. If you're looking to work with a bank, maybe go get their rates. Take a look. That's okay. But you'll end up back at Veterans America because this is all they do. They work with the VA directly. They know all the loopholes. They know everything that they can get for you, all the benefits that you've earned, by the way. And they do so many different things so incredibly well. That's Veterans America. You can go to veteransamerica.com, but I recommend calling and asking for James. Ask for James. He's the owner of the company. 262-255-2000. That's 262-255-2000. I'll tell you this, you'll never meet anybody more passionate about veterans, military members, and getting you everything you deserve than this guy. Call him direct, 262-255-2000. That's Veterans America. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
we continue to do it year-round, but if you want to help us out, Big Unit Foundation, always taking donations, supporting our veterans, military members, the first responders, their families, through some random acts of kindness and donations and such. I get it all the time. People say, how can we help? How can we donate? It's simple, whether it's $10, $20, whatever, or more. Or if you just want to get a hold of us, you can always go to bigunitfoundation.com. That's bigunitfoundation.com, supporting our heroes. Again, go to bigunitfoundation.com, bigunitfoundation.com. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. I can't believe I burped. 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Do it. Would love to hear from you. This is from Paige. Paige says, great discussion regarding the NFL draft. I find it interesting that more people think they need defensive trench help than they do pass rush help. Well, but if you understand what it is both Pete and Eric were saying, it's that the edge rushers become better if you get guys up the gut, which is true. Because if you get a guy that gets penetration, and say it does two things. One, it cuts down half the field. Okay, so if you get a guy that can get penetration up the middle, it forces your quarterback to go one way or the other. The second thing is, if, say, in the run game, it eliminates cutback lanes. So if you just have a pocket, they can go to the left and hop to the right in a cutback lane. If you get penetration up the middle, say through the nose tackle position, or even you're blowing up a nose tackle or a center and a guard, you're eliminating the cutback lane because they can't come back to you, which would then force them into Gary, into Van Ness, which would then, in essence, make them better. And that also then opens up things for the linebackers if you play more aggressive and more physical that way. So I get what they're saying. I understand, and I don't disagree with it. To be honest with you, it's not an area that I can completely focused on, but it's true. It's another opinion. Which is the reason we have guests on. It's another opinion. It's another idea. That if you get strong, if you're really strong in this, I mean, look what Philadelphia did in chasing down Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. They were coming off the edge. They were coming up the gut. They were just blowing up the pocket. There was nowhere to go. Pressure was on him all day. And if he did scramble and get away, he had to get rid of the ball. He was making unscheduled throws. So it was, I don't disagree with it. If you can get better in the I go back to the year the Packers won the Super Bowl and you had that rotation. You had Ryan Pickett and B.J. Raji and C.J. Wilson and Howard Green and Cullen Jenkins. You had big beef up front, and they just rotated those guys in and out, and they said, just go get me one play. Go get me a play. You know, that you didn't need a guy to be in there for every series busting it up. You just needed a guy to get in there for a series and give you a play out of five guys. You know, just give me one. And somebody was making plays. That's what they did. So, and if you're strong up the gut, if you're strong in the nose tackle, you're strong in the linebacker, you're strong in a safety, and you're strong in a corner, all up the gut, that's a strong football team, because like ripples on a pond, then it has to go out. You know what I mean? So it's just a different perspective of looking at things. So if I had to put 1A, 1B, label things 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say the left tackle position on offense might be a fourth, depending on who's available. But I would probably say wide receiver would be my one. Defensive line, and if they truly believe Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary are ready to fly, then you're probably going to go more interior than you are exterior. So maybe you go defensive line 2, edge rusher 3, corner 4, and then maybe a tackle at 5. You know, as far as your level, which is another reason. Look, if you're picking one guy for each spot when you need numerous guys in some of those spots, that might be the reason they trade back. Because if you go 1 through 5, that only gives you 3 picks left, right? And at that point, you're just trying to take best available and not just fill needs. So maybe it would be beneficial to have another pick, a 9th pick or a 10th pick. And that way you can get 4 or 5 more guys that can help you add to that depth. It doesn't mean that they're good players or they're even going to make the team. It just means that you're taking the buckshot approach of, hey, we're just going to blast away and hope that some of these guys stick and they can help us. So I don't disagree with it. Paige. I don't. It's just a different perspective, which is really, to be honest with you, that's what we're here to do, right? It's just give you a bunch of different perspectives. So when you head off to the water cooler and start, not that there's water coolers around anymore, but if you go to the water cooler and start talking to the people that you know and sharing ideas, you can say, well, here's something else to think about, right? That would be it. 877-867-1670. Mark says the Bears have changed the most other than Detroit. I thought the Queens would keep Darnold. That's really going to be interesting to see how, because remember, J.J. McCarthy looked better than Sam Darnold early on in that season before he ended up hurting his knee. I mean, it was going to be J.J. McCarthy's team. And then he got hurt, so it had to become Sam Darnold's team. But I just keep thinking about Kevin O'Connell resurrected the career of Sam Darnold. I don't see any reason why J.J. McCarthy, if he's NFL capable, why he won't play well under the tutelage of Kevin O'Connell. I know that team's a little bit longer in the tooth. I get it. They're more built to win and now if their young quarterback can lead them to it. That's just my perspective. But I still think the strongest team in the division is Detroit. Detroit didn't lose players. Remember that. They didn't lose players. They ended up losing the coaching staff, the brain trust, but they didn't lose players. That's still a really good, talented football team. Mike and DePere said, just drove past Lambeau as you were talking about it. Sent a picture. The picture didn't come through, though, Mike, unfortunately. Just an FYI. Eric in Green Bay said, I would advise you to advise the listeners that they need to download the NFL One Pass app. All the info for the NFL draft is right there, including where to park, what roads are closed, and everything that they're going to need to get the One Pass app. Otherwise, they're not going to be partaking in anything draft related. So there you go. Stephen Richfield, Bill, Jackson Cheerio tied for 3 NL RBI leads with 16. Tied with Tescar and Hernandez and Kyle Tucker. Yeah, Jackson Cheerio's been raking, man. Been raking. And said if Matthew Golden and Jaden Barron are still at 23, who do you take? Matthew Golden. Because Matthew, you can't teach speed. I'm taking him right now. 4.2, 4.29, 4.27. I'm taking Matthew Golden. Because he then becomes your guy that if he's got any kind of hands at all, he can flip the field for you. He's going to be the guy that teams are going to have to. Remember, when we had all those defensive players on at Super Bowl, okay, all the current and former players, they all said the same thing. When we were talking about do the Packers need a number one, they all said when you sit down in the room on Tuesday or Monday or whenever you start looking at the next opponent, they all say the first thing they say is, okay, let's circle the guy we have to account for. Right now, that guy would be Josh Jacobs, the run game. You have to account for him, which is not a bad thing, but it's not a guy that's going to tip the field wide receiver-wise. Whereas if Golden comes out, gets you a couple of 20-yard plus catches, burns a few guys downfield, next thing you know, you're swinging safeties in his direction. You have to, because you have to account for that guy. So that's the reason I would take him right now. Golden, that speed is that's for real. He's got better speed than Sam Shields. And Sam Shields used to make it look easy when he was closing on offenders, when he was closing on wide receivers. 877-867-1670. Track us down. We want to hear from you. Got another segment yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show. One more segment next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, ready to sweeten your game? It's time for Quick Trip's Nature's Touch Ice Cream. Ooh, making moves like the starting lineup of a championship team. Whether you're gearing up for the big game, celebrating a win, or just looking for a sweet break in the action. Chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, and more. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad pick. So why wait? Flavor doesn't scoop itself. Get your hands on your winning Nature's Touch Ice Cream flavor today. Only at Quick Trip.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hearts of fire, streets of stone.
Thursday,
Modern warriors.
almost in the books. And I got a couple minutes before we get out of here today. Tomorrow, there's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will wrap things up as far as the series in Colorado, as the Brewers have a day game today coming up here in about 15, 20 minutes. They'll be playing at Coors Field. So we're going to talk a little bit about Game 3 between the Brewers and the Rockies. They get a win today, man. That's 8 out of their last 9. That'd be just smoking hot.
Especially if Priester can get a win too.
Yes.
That would look great for the Brewers and great for the management.
Oh, God. Yeah, considering they're just kind of piecemealing and patchworking this staff together until they can get some of these guys back. But, you know, what's really interesting is we're sitting here in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin for that matter, and depending on where you live is depending on whether or not you're wearing a heavy coat or a lighter coat or a jacket or a pullover. And I'm watching the fans file into Coors Field. They're wearing shorts and T-shirts in a mile-high city.
We can only wish.
Right? How do we get screwed so bad? You know?
Yeah, next week seems like it's going to be a little bit nicer, but still, it's not that level that we were talking about a couple shows ago, Bill.
Yeah, it won't be. Well, it'll be 50s next week and 60s early next week, I guess, which will be good. But nevertheless, so just kind of wait and see. So, but no, that being said, I mean, look, the Brewers get a win today and get the weekend series and then kind of go from there. Bucks back at it again tonight. They got the Pelicans this evening, as a matter of fact. So hopefully they get a win there, continue their stretch. and then kind of see what happens beyond that, because you'd love to see them keep winning, get themselves to a point where, you're kind of finishing strong down the stretch. And then you head into the postseason. And as Giannis said, they're going to need all the fans and all the energy, depending on whether or not they do or do not get Dame back. We'll have to wait and see. Weekend coming up, you got the Brewers heading to Arizona. They're going to be playing the Diamondbacks over the weekend in a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 8:40 on Friday, 7:10 on Saturday, 3:10 on Sunday. And then we'll see you at the ballpark on Monday as the Brewers take on the Detroit Tigers in a 3-game series before they get the A's, the Nomad A's, that roll into town for next weekend, next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So got all of that.
I can't imagine making it to major leagues. Finally, having your home debut and it not even being in a home.
Right. It's just in some kind of inflatable stadium that they're blowing up out there in the West Coast just to kind of, make. And that's the next 2 years. It's not like it's even, only for a season. It's 2 years. What
a home debut.
Yeah. So for 2 years, you'll
be starting in the major leagues for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you can really get your first home debut.
But imagine if you got to play 2 years and you finally get to where you get that that's just an incredible looking stadium that they're building out there in Las Vegas. And they've got a camera on it, so you can always follow the progress. If you go to EarthCam, you can follow the progress of that stadium out there in Vegas, and it's the renderings of that thing are phenomenal. So that'll be huge. And then obviously we'll have more draft talk and whatever happens to pop up overnight regarding the NFL. And as we creep ever closer to the NFL draft coming to Green Bay. So we're going to be excited about that. And we'll give you the update on the Masters tomorrow as well as the T-Top.
Who do you have winning, though?
I was thinking Colin Morikawa. It's interesting because I picked the 2 years in a row. I picked the winner. 3 years ago, I picked the top 5 qualifier. I said Colin Morikawa or Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau is a bomber. It is if you don't get wind and you don't get a ton of rain, he can crush that course, and he's a bomber. So as long as he's ball striking off the tee really, really well, then he's probably 20, 30, 40 yards further than everybody, which gives him really good striking distance on a lot of those big, long par 5s. So that was kind of like where I was going, but I didn't really sit down and go, this is it. Just a little bit of a different year. And Scotty Scheffler came back from that thumb injury. Remember at Thanksgiving last year, or Christmas last year, he cut his thumb open and had to get it surgically repaired because he broke a jar or a glass or something when he was working around the house for Christmas dinner. So he had to, and he's finally got that thing that's not only surgically repaired, but it's pretty much healed up. So maybe he comes back and plays great again. Who knows?
We'll have to check it out tomorrow.
There you go. All right. We're all back tomorrow until we talk again 20 hours from now.